Welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Appreciate you guys joining us for yet another live stream. Sorry for the late start anyway. Had a family dinner anyway. I couldn't get out of, but it was nice getting to spend some time with you, with the family. Hope you guys got to do the same today on a good Sunday afternoon. Very hot outside here down in Texas, but game's already underway. Padres have Joe Musgrove on the mound against the Mets today. Padres loaded it up in the first, but were unable to scratch across the run. One out now after Brandon Nimmo grounded out up the middle. Starling Marte is up now, and the count is 1-1, or excuse me, 1-2 now after that foul ball. Appreciate you guys joining us. The 1-2 pitch by Musgrove popped out into right, a few steps back. And making a few more steps is Nomar Mazara. Longtime Texas Ranger top prospect, was traded to the White Sox. Things didn't work out so well. Spent a year in Detroit. That didn't work out either. And has since found himself in San Diego. Francisco Lindor due up next, hitting .245 this year, 16 home runs and 66 RBIs, OPS of 746. That one just off the outside corner, 1-0. Lindor in his career versus Musgrove, 5 for 14, 2 homers, struck out 6 times. Heavy shift on right now. 3 infielders on the first base side of second. That one fouled away, and it's 1-1. Game in New York tonight. Another one fouled off on that pitch up and in. Well, I should say foul tipped anyway, up on that ball up and in. For the Mets, it's Nimmo in center, Marte in right, Lindor at short, Alonso at first, to be followed by McNeil at second. Vogelbach in the lineup today at DH, the trade deadline acquisition that was just acquired from the Pirates. Canna in left, Guillorme at third, and Nitto is your catcher today. Carrasco pitched that first inning, gave up 2 hits and a walk, but still worked around it and didn't give up a run. That one lashed foul down the third base line by Lindor, and we'll do it again. For the Padres, it was Profar leading off in left, Cronenworth at second, followed by Machado, Mazara in the 4 spot, Luke Voigt, the former Yankee, at the DH spot, batting 5th, Hosmer at first base, Austin Nola doing the catching at the 7 spot, Kim out at short, having a little bit better year this year than he did last year, and Ruiz out in center. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. That one fouled off his foot, and we'll do it again. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. The set by Musgrove. Nice pitch there, off-speed pitch. Foul tipped by Lindor, but this time held on to by Nola. And that'll go as a strikeout. Mets go in order in the first. We go to the top of the second. 0-0 our score. Coming into the game, the Padres are 12 games above 500. Mets they are 19 games above 500 anyway. But the Braves are hot on their heels. They've played much better in the second half. Well, the second half of their season so far anyway, if you split that first half up into two. Braves started out the gate struggling mightily. The return of Acuna kind of coincided with the return to very good baseball for the Braves. They've gotten a lot of good surprising pitching performances, and that's where they're at now. It'll be interesting to see what deadline acquisitions they go for. The Braves already kind of exhausted their farm system in the trade for Matt Olson to kind of stay where they're at. I don't see them going out and making too many big, high-price moves. They didn't really do that last year. They kind of added around the edges, and it ultimately led them all the way to the World Series. For the Mets, this team is a team that's willing to spend and spend big. Possibly they send out a few of their draft picks that they just took in the draft this year, maybe a few of their top prospects, and get an impact piece. They're rumored to be interested in Juan Soto. A deal like that would have to require a team to really be willing to go above and beyond to make a deal like that happen, especially within their own division. You have to imagine a couple of major leaguers, a couple of top minor leaguers, a grab bag full of lower level prospects on top of the $500 million contract that Juan Soto is going to command. Padres are also in on Juan Soto. They would love to pair him with Fernando Tatis. Tatis still hasn't played yet anyway. Still recovering from injury. Just about to get back underway here. Musgrove entered the game with an 8-2 record, a 2.40 ERA, and 103 strikeouts on the year. Carrasco 10-4 with a 4.23 ERA and 100 strikeouts. The former Cleveland Indian, now the Cleveland Guardians, having a little bit of a renaissance year. At the beginning of the year, wasn't expected him to be able to for him to pitch this much, but they've really had to rely on him with the injuries to DeGrom and Scherzer early on this season. Second pitch there by Carrasco misses inside, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Odds to win the World Series. The Mets are now in fourth as far as the best odds to win the series. You got to think that's primarily because of their pitching. DeGrom is expected back at some point this season. We'll see what kind of effectiveness he has when he gets up. Max Scherzer just returned from injury not too long ago as well. That one misses outside, and it's now 3-2. Nola hitting 244, does have a couple home runs this year. Carrasco set, and the pitch popped up behind home plate, out of play, and we'll do it again. Thank you for the like. Welcome back, Wyatt. Who do I got winning? This one, I'd probably go with the Mets just because it's in New York. Sunday night baseball, they always play better under the lights, it seems like. Nice strikeout there. Hee-Sung Kim will be next. They're showing DeGrom kind of working on things in the bullpen earlier before the game. Kim fouls that one down the third base line, 0-1. I think if Tatis was playing in this game, the Padres probably take it. But he's not back yet. That one misses its spot badly, but it still ends up over the plate. That'll be strike 2. The set. And the pitch by Carrasco. Changeup fouled off. And we'll do it again. The set and the pitch. This one lined into left center field, gets down in front of the left fielder. That'll go as a lead or a one-out single anyway for Kim. CJ Abrams and Kim have kind of split the duty there at short, filling in for Tatis. Abrams is on the bench right now. One of the top prospects in all of Major League Baseball, hitting .231 this year in 43 games played. 28 hits in those games. Carrasco's first pitch here is fouled away. And Ruiz is behind 0-1. Ruiz hitting .263 on the year, no homers, .684 OPS. Even though both are injured, DeGrom and Tatis are both there for the game, trying to be around their team as they get ready for the stretch run. Carrasco set, the 1-1. Lashed foul down the first base line, and we'll go to a 1-2 count here. Carrasco trying to get his second strikeout of the game. Pickoff attempt there, no good. This one misses up and away, and it's now 2-2. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you haven't hit that like button already, please do so. Doing our second live stream of the day anyway. If you're just joining us, we do a lot of baseball live streams. Cover all 4 of the major sports here in the U.S. MLB, NHL, NFL, and the NBA. Let us know which team is your favorite. We'll try to put out a lot more content for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. See if we can hit 400 by the end of the week. This one jams Ruiz, and it's fouled off. Count will remain 2-2. Thank you all for joining. Really do appreciate it. Ruiz hanging tough here. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat now, after fouling off the last 2. Carrasco set, and the pitch. The top of the zone, bounced off the mound anyway. Lindor onto second, flips to first. Angel Hernandez, the umpire at first base tonight. They do get the force though at second base. 2 away. And it'll be Jurickson Profar due next. Former Rangers top prospect, number 1 overall prospect in the game, Jurickson Profar. Hitting .240 this year. Does have 8 homers and a .729 OPS. Another former Rangers top prospect, Mazzara, hitting 4th for them. You can kind of see the Rangers connections there, as their GM, A.J. Preller, came from the Rangers about 10 years ago now. A lot of familiarity with Profar when he was a top prospect in their system. Another pickoff attempt there, and he's back in there safely. Carrasco up to 39 pitches so far. Here in the top of the second. 0-0 our score. 3 hits so far for the Padres, none for the Mets. The set by Carrasco. Steps off again. Trade deadline a little over a week away. Mets already making a couple deals to bolster their lineup, getting Vogelbach to be their DH. They're still looking at Trey Mancini apparently to fill that right-handed portion of that platoon anyway. As Vogelbach crushes righties, Mancini crushes lefties. That'd be a nice duo for the Mets. Almost caught Ruiz leaning there. They also made a deal for a backup catcher as they needed somebody. Carrasco set, and the pitch. Well outside, ball 1. Scores from around baseball. The Blue Jays beat the Red Sox 8-4. Angels beat the Braves 9-1. Miami in 10 innings beat the Pirates 6-5. Fake bunt attempt there by Profar on to steal, or tried to steal a base anyway. Ruiz is out, they say. The throw looked late. Maybe he popped up off the base as he slid in there. Ruiz is asking for a challenge. We will see if we get one. Looking at the throw, he was definitely safe. Tag never really got there, and he didn't really come off the base. I don't see where he was actually called out unless his foot slid off at the very, very, very end. Let's see this angle. His glove is pushing his foot off the base, that's for sure. So I don't know if they're going to challenge it, though. I mean, he was safe by a mile. He didn't really pop up off of it, and then the glove just kind of pushed off his foot. Yep, he did detach from the base. But is his glove pushing him off the base? I would say so. Either event, it's the 3rd out of the inning in either event. If you let this pass, you get the top of the order up there to start the 3rd. Otherwise, this is going to be 2 outs. Welcome in, Chris. Appreciate you. I got the Mets winning as well. Looks like they are indeed reviewing it. Just calling it myself, I would say he's safe. Lindor did push his foot off the base at the very end. Doug Melvin, the coach, or the manager for the San Diego Padres, coming over from the A's. I don't have skin in the game, but if I was just a betting man, I would say that he pushed his foot off. They still uphold the call, though. If I'm Ruiz, I have a right to be pissed, though. Review is unsuccessful, and we go to the bottom half of the second. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hit that like button if you're just joining us. Subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. That way you'll be notified whenever we do go live again. Try to do about 5 or 6 of these lives every week. Probably do a couple more on Tuesday. And then Saturday, we'll definitely do a couple more, especially with the trade deadline heating up. Appreciate all 13 of you guys joining us, even in a commercial break. As we go to the bottom of the second, it'll be Alonso followed by McNeil and Vogelbach. Thank you guys. Appreciate the person who ever subscribed. Really appreciate it. See if we can get to 400 by the end of the week. We've gained about 97, make it 98 now in the past 3+ weeks. That's a lot of growth, and all of it's thanks to you guys. Your support really is a lot, or really means a lot to us. So thank you very much for subscribing, hitting that like button. We'll put out a few NFL videos with training camp warming or getting ready anyway. Jimmy G's trade market finally heating up. I say finally because he was originally going to be traded right after the season, but of course he had off-season shoulder surgery, so teams weren't willing to part with top draft picks or anything like that until they saw how his shoulder recovered. Seems like that progress has gone well, and the team has once again started re-engaging with other teams on a trade for Jimmy Garropolo. Can't imagine they want to start the season having both Trey Lance and Jimmy Garropolo in that quarterback room. Teams that have touched base have pretty much been every single team, from looking from a backup to a starting quarterback to a transition type quarterback. Musgrove's first pitch is fouled away by Alonso, and it's 0-1. That one up and in. 1-1 now the count. Alonso hitting .271, 866 OPS, 24 home runs, and 78 RBIs. Appreciate you guys joining us. Leads the National League in RBIs. He's the only Mets player to ever do so besides Howard Johnson in 1991. That pitch by Musgrove is not even close. Bounces in the other batter's box, and it's 2-1. You a Mets fan, Chris? Alonso digs back in. The pitch. Off speed has Alonso out in front, and it's now 2-2. That one fouled back to the screen, and we'll do it again. Other scores from around the league. Yankees clobbered the Orioles 6-0. Reds beat the Cardinals again. They've come out of the break looking good. Very nice to see, especially with them being in the Field of Dreams game in a few weeks. Twins beat the Tigers 9-1. The 2-2 pitch here. Again in the other batter's box. Alonso does not offer. Welcome in, Chris. You got the Padres winning. Okay. Got a couple votes for the Mets. One here for the Padres. Anybody else want to chime in? That one again in the other's batter's box, but this time they say that he did go around, I believe. Nope, they're saying he didn't. I thought he might have gone around on that one. That'll be a walk there for Alonso, looking at the overhead cam. And it looks like he might have actually held up. Nice job by Alonso. Appreciate all you guys joining us tonight. Hey, Zach, thanks for joining us again. Jeff McNeil due up next, hitting .297 this year, 4 homers and a .774 OPS. That one misses outside, and it's 1-0. So we got 2 Mets and 2 Padres. Yeah. Saw your White Sox did win 6-3. Royals beat the Rays 4-2. Milwaukee 10-9 over the Rockies. This one off the end of the bat, flew out to center field. Ruiz makes a nice sliding catch. That's the first out of the inning. Twins won 9-1. Grandma was very happy when I told her that. She loves her Twins. Rangers won over the A's 11-8. Houston over the Mariners 8-5. Dodgers 7-4 over the Giants. Daniel Vogelbach digs in. That one right on the outside corner. 0-1. Vogelbach, of course, the Mariner, former Pittsburgh Pirate. This season with Pittsburgh hitting .228, 12 homers, and 34 RBIs. That one in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Buck Showalter massaging this lineup. I think this might be Vogelbach's first game. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but I think it is, since the trade coming from the Pirates. The pitch dots the inside corner. Musgrove getting the call again. Vogelbach's like, okay, you've given both corners now. Appreciate the like. Thank you very much. Yeah, Cease did pretty good. The set by Musgrove, well above the zone. Check swing, but he did not hold up. And that'll be a strikeout for Musgrove, his second of the game. 2 away now. It'll be up to Mark Canha, hitting .265, 7 homers, and a .744 OPS. Musgrove set. And eventually the pitch. This one up and in and glances off his elbow protector. Now it'll be 2 on with 2 outs, as Canha is hit by the pitch. Looks like they're going to talk to Mark Canha later in the game. They're asking you to tweet your suggestions to Sunday Night Baseball. A lot more interaction with the fans during games. That's what the telecasts are leaning towards. Appreciate you guys, all 12 of you, 13 of you guys for joining us now. Thank you very much. Who does everybody got winning? Guillorme is up, hitting .291 on the year. 2 home runs and a .740 OPS. Takes strike 1 over the outer half. Belt high for a strike 1. Goes without batting gloves. Does have 11 RBIs on the year. The set by Musgrove. And the pitch. That one's a little... Oh, wow. Guillorme, you have a right to be pissed about that one. That one missed by a good 2 inches up high, and yet the pitcher still got the call. This is a very wide strike zone here. Batters are going to have to adjust. And no, it's not Angel Hernandez at the making the balls and strikes call tonight. He's at first. That one, another one up and in. This one a little bit closer to the strike zone, but he checks, swings, fouls that one off down the third base line. Still 0-2. Musgrove set. And the pitch. That one outside and missing his spot. That's 1-2. Should he reach, it would be Nitto next, followed by Brendan Nimmo. And no, those are not the same players. It's Nitto and Nimmo. That one misses low and in, and it's 2-2. Alonso at second. Canna at first. 2 away here in the bottom of the second. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Sunday evening. Hope you guys had a good day with your family. Got to enjoy yourself, relax. If you had to work today, feel sorry for you. Missed some good baseball so far. But hopefully you get to watch a good game here tonight. Looks like it's probably going to be a pitcher's duel based on how wide that strike zone is by the home plate umpire. Kind of surprised that one wasn't called a strike, as that one missed outside by a couple inches. 3-2 now. Musgrove up to 37 pitches on the night. The set and the pitch. This one fought off Guillorme up the middle. Kim flips it onto first, and the side is retired. Mets are down here. Musgrove has a couple of words for the home plate umpire. I think he might have wanted that last strike call anyway. But no harm done. Through 2 innings, it's 0-0 our score. 3 hits for the Padres, nothing else doing in the game. It'll be Profar, followed by Cronenworth and Machado. No Tatis, of course, as he's still out with injury. Should anybody reach, it will be Mazzara in the 4-hole. No Myers out there either for the Padres. I believe he is on the injured list right now. Will Myers. As we wait for the top of the third to get underway, just want to check in on some of the news from around baseball anyway. A lot of trade deadline news finally starting to percolate now that the Hall of Fame ceremonies have concluded today. Big Papi, David Ortiz getting his induction. Gil Hodges, Minnie Minoso among the honorees. But as far as the trade deadline news, yesterday it was announced that Shohei Ohtani was at least being discussed among teams as far as an option at the trade deadline this year. Got to wonder about Juan Soto as well, if they're going to be able to get that type of mega deal done before the deadline. The only team that's said to be absolutely in on Juan Soto is the San Diego Padres. So we'll see if they're able to get something done. It said they really want to pair Soto with Tatis. Tatis is signed to that mega deal for, I believe, 13 years. He'll be a member of the Padres pretty much indefinitely. Machado's big contract is still there. Hosmer's contract still has a couple years left on it. So they've definitely doled out the dollar bills. Maybe in order to make things work financially, they're going to have to offload a little bit more salary. But it said the Nationals also want to offload Patrick Corbin in a trade. Profar digs in and takes ball one outside. This one at the bottom of the zone, fouled away, and it's 1-1. You got to imagine a deal for Juan Soto would absolutely be a monster right now, especially since it seems like his bat is really coming around right now. Just won the home run derby. A lot of momentum on his side, a lot of public opinion on his side. Swing and a miss here by Profar, and it's 1-2. That one down in the dirt, but he chased it anyway. Another one here fouled off. Another one at the bottom of the zone on the outside corner. Good job by Profar staying alive. Yeah, the trade for Juan Soto would be absolutely massive. Both teams in the game right now, Mets and Padres, are interested in him. Other names to consider around the trade deadline, according to for the Mets anyway, Trey Mancini from Baltimore. They're looking for a right-handed complement to that designated hitter spot after acquiring Daniel Vogelbach the other day. For the Padres, they've gotten great starting pitching this year, but after last year, they know how quickly that can go. Maybe they invest in another arm. Maybe if they do make that trade for Juan Soto and they get Patrick Corbin, they go ahead and use him. Not that he's pitching great or lights out or anything like that, but maybe you use him as a long reliever or a spot starter or something like that. That's a lot of money to pay somebody like that. But in order to get a talent like Juan Soto in the building, you do what you have to do. Any Mets fans out there want Juan Soto? Join your outfield with Canna, Marte, Nimmo. Maybe Nimmo goes the other way in the deal. News out of the LA Angels. They officially have established a price for Shohei Ohtani. They want established major leaguers in any deal for Ohtani. They're at least talking about him now. When you start seeing articles like this, you're going to see movement. That one Profar grounds out to the second baseman there. One out. But this news is a little bit surprising right now because I did not think the Angels would go this far as to announce it, that they're actually setting a price. They want established major leaguers. Take that for whatever you think it means. It doesn't mean you have to be a sub-2 ERA starting pitcher, but I think they want somebody with at least some major league pedigree to be coming the other way, as well as top prospects. I don't think the deal for Soto is going to be, or the deal for Ohtani is going to be nearly as cost prohibitive as the deal for Shohei Ohtani, and a number of teams should check in on him, as there's a dearth of starting pitching on the market right now, and Shohei represents one of the best, if not the best starter on the market instantly, if he actually is on the market. Welcome in, Jeffrey. I think the Padres are going to win. This one lifted out down the line. Is it fair or foul? I think that one's a foul ball. Cronenworth gave that one a ride down the first base line. Appreciate all 14 of y'all joining us. Thank you for the like. Really appreciate it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. But as I just mentioned, Ken Rosenthal just announced that the Angels have set a price for Shohei Ohtani, one of the best hitters and one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. They have not been able to get any traction. They've been the worst team in all of baseball since May 25th, and it's not been close. But Shohei Ohtani is officially on the block. LA wants established major leaguers. The Yankees, of course, have had great pitching so far this year. I thought they were going to need some more to kind of solidify their chances. The Mets, I think, are going to need more starting pitching, even with the return of DeGrom imminent. Swing and a miss there by Cronenworth. 1-2. Or they're saying foul ball, my bad. But Shohei Ohtani on the market. What do you think it's going to cost? Mets fans, Padres fans, any of y'all want Juan Soto? Or are you going to be like, cost is too much, don't want him? Or, he's a division rival, I don't want him on my team. That one just low and away, and it goes to 2-2. What do you think, Jeffrey, Chris, Wyatt? If you're the Mets, are you interested? If you're the Padres, do you sell the house to get him? Little cue shot off the end of the bat, or off the handle anyway. Cronenworth is able to beat it out as Carrasco wasn't able to get off the mound in time to make the play. A one-out infield single here for Cronenworth. With the heavy shift on, there was no third baseman there to make the play. Do or die play for Carrasco and just wasn't able to get it done. Looks like he was going to beat it out anyway. But in case you're just joining us, Shohei Ohtani is officially on the market. Manny Machado due up 300 batting average, got a single back in the first. 889 OPS with 16 home runs. He's really been carrying this Padres team without Tatis in there. That's exactly what they were hoping for when they signed him to that mega deal. Everybody was a little bit surprised they were willing to continue to spend money after they had signed Hosmer. They had Tatis in-house. But they knew what they wanted with Manny Machado. He's a winning player. Buck Showalter, the manager for the New York Mets, one of the biggest fans of Manny Machado from their time in Baltimore together. They signed Manny away from the Dodgers that offseason, their division rival. Yet another reason why it made sense for the Padres to do so. And he's still one of the best hitters in the game. Selected to the All-Star team this year. 1-1 the count here. That one just off the outside corner, but Machado unable to make contact, and it's 1-2. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to make the biggest offer for Ohtani? Who do you think needs him the most? I think pretty much everybody could use his arm, of course, even though he did just get beat around a little bit by the Braves the other day. Angels, of course, just asking him to do a little too much yet again. The 1-2 by Carrasco. Little dribbler up the mound off of Carrasco, and everybody's going to be safe. 2 on, 1 out. That'll go as an infield single. 2 infield singles here by Cronenworth and Machado. 57 miles an hour off the bat. Carrasco looks to be just fine. It'll be 2 on with 1 out here for Nomar Mazara. Mazara hitting .292 with .738 OPS with a couple of home runs. They will come out and check on him, though, anyway. After he took that one, it looks like in the back of the, maybe even the back of the hamstring, honestly. No, it's just a mound visit. His catcher, it looks like, wanted to just check on him and discuss what they want to do here. Second time Carrasco's found himself in trouble here early. Had the bases loaded in the first and was able to work around it. Got 2 on here with 1 out in the third. We'll see if he can do the same. pitch, right on the inside corner. Nice off-speed pitch by Carrasco. Oh and 1. Mazara, the lefty, brought in as a minor league free agent to start the year. Absolutely tore up AAA pitching, and they couldn't keep him in the minors anymore. He took a chance on a front office that knew him very well instead of going to a team that offered him a major league deal. Knew he would get his chance on this team, especially a winning team. 1 and 1 now the count to Mazara as he steps back in. This one down and in and fouled off by Mazara, and it's 1 and 2. Grounded that one into the first base dugout. Thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't hit that like button already, please do so. Trying to reach 400 subscribers by the end of the week. Let's see if we can get there. Gained about 90. How many is it now? 98 of y'all in the past 3 weeks. Let's see if we can keep that momentum going. Line, or a little grounder anyway. Foul along the first base line. Oh, Buck Showalter just moved out of the way just in time. That ball was headed right for him on that previous foul ball. That was a nice camera angle there. With Sunday Night Baseball, you get a few extra camera angles there for the game. This one jammed up the middle. McNeil onto Lindor, back to Alonso, and the double play is recorded. Through 2.5, nothing our score. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Padres. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Mets. To the bottom of the third we go. It'll be Nido, Nimmo, and Marte. Again, if you're just joining us, Shohei Ohtani is officially on the block. It seems like the asking price right now, according to Ken Rosenthal, is established minor leaguers in addition to a massive prospect haul, as you might expect. So I'd expect at least a top 100 prospect to go the other direction in a trade for Shohei, in addition to a couple of major leaguers to fill the push for a postseason run. To me, it's a little bit foolhardy for them to consider a postseason run when they've been the worst team in all of baseball since May 25th, and it's not been close. Oh, there was a stretch over 15 days where they won only 3 games. Can you guess which 3 games those were? Those were the 3 games Shohei Ohtani started. But they lost last night anyway, I think it was, when Shohei Ohtani was knocked around a little bit. Tonight, they did beat Atlanta. Can't lose them all if you're the Angels. Sorry. Not sorry. The Angels just have not been able to get out of their own way for more than a decade since Mike Trout has been there. Maybe, just maybe, they're finally coming to their senses, realizing that Ohtani doesn't see this as a winning situation, is going to move on in free agency. This is their way of getting out in front of that. There was already rumors about that before the season started. A little bit of rumblings about that about a month ago when the losing really was starting to set in with the Angels, and things have not gotten any better since then. Now it seems like they're finally making the move to go ahead and consider moving on from Shohei Ohtani. As good of a player as he is, they have 2 of the top 3 players in all the league, and they still can't win. Ouch. Tomas Nido is coming up. A .212 average with a .489 OPS, no home runs. First pitch slider right down the middle, 0-1. Thank you guys for joining us again on a Sunday night. Little after 7 o'clock Central Time. Musgrove for the Padres against Carrasco for the Mets. Padres already have 5 hits in the game, but haven't been able to scratch across a run yet. Second one here to Nido. A little tapper out to short. Kim, a nice soft bounce. Flips on to first. Gets him by 3 or 4 steps. 1 away here in the bottom of the third. Thank you for the like. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Got 12 of y'all with us now. 13, make it. Let your friends know. Join the comments. Let us know what you think about Juan Soto possibly going to either the Mets or the Padres. They're two of the three teams that's been rumored to be interested in him. Got 15 of y'all now. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Really appreciate all the support. If you haven't hit that like button already, please do so. Subscribe and follow us here at The Upside and on Twitter at UpsideSN. Keep you up to date on your favorite team, especially as the trade deadline draws near. 0-1 now to Brendan Nimmo. Little tapper here to Musgrove. Flips it on to first. Nice catch by Hosmer, and they just do get Nimmo. 2 away. Quick inning, Musgrove looking for a quick inning here. Starling Marte due up next, hitting .293. He has a .794 OPS with 9 home runs so far this year. 0 for 1 so far on the day. He was one of the big offseason acquisitions for the Mets. Signed that 4-year, $80 million deal. Honestly, I thought that was the steal of the offseason after we saw how good Starling Marte was last year for the Athletics. He hasn't been that type of Starling Marte yet this year, but he's still hitting close to 300. With the All-Star break now behind us, maybe he'll start to heat up yet again. That one just off the plate for a ball, 1-0. Appreciate you guys joining us. Now 1-1 after a swing and a miss there. The pitch by Musgrove. Right at the knees on the inside corner, and it's 1-2. Musgrove working quickly here. That one misses badly in the other batter's box. Two and two now. No hits yet in the game for the Mets anyway. Need to get something going offensively here. The pitch fouled off. And we'll do it again. Musgrove up to 47 pitches now. The set and the pitch. Sets the target high right on the inside corner. Beautiful pitch by Musgrove. Gets the strikeout looking of Marte. To the fourth we go. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Padres. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Mets. Just waiting for some more trade deadline news to come out now that the Hall of Fame ceremony is behind us. Field of Dreams game coming up on the 11th. The deadline is on the 2nd. We'll do a live stream on the 2nd, starting around 10 o'clock, go through about 4, maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock after the deadline. Make sure you follow us here at The Upside. We'll put out a whole bunch of shorts as the trades happen, as we get closer and closer to the deadline, all the rumors that are coming out. As soon as we finish this live stream, we'll put that news out for Shohei Ohtani. That will definitely be the biggest trade, I believe, of this trade deadline season if Shohei is indeed moved. I think once you start setting a price publicly, that a trade will get worked out, especially when you have this good of a talented player on both sides, both a pitcher and a hitter. Something will get worked out. One team out there will see the value of having somebody like Shohei. The bidding should get intense anyway. This might be where the Yankees actually part with one of their top shortstop prospects, Volpe and Peraza. They got some young pitchers they could trade the other way that are having good first halves. And the Yankees always do seem to end up in the rumor mill for every top trade target out there, every top free agent. They're always mentioned as a team that will at least check in on that market, which all teams should do, honestly. For the Padres, it'll be Luke Voit, followed by Eric Hosmer and Austin Nola. 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. Thank you guys for joining us here on a Sunday evening. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. We really appreciate all the support. Trying to reach 400 by the end of the week. Let's see if we can do it. We did the earlier game today, the Cubs and Phillies. Cubs taking it 4-3. First pitch here by Carrasco to Voit is inside for a ball, and it's 1-0. Another one well inside to Luke Voit, and it's 2-0. Both teams made manager changes in the offseason. Buck Showalter behind the bench now or in the dugout anyway, for the New York Mets. Doug Melvin coming over from the A's for the Padres. This one missing up and away, and it's 3-0 to Luke Voit. 12 homers on the year. You don't want to groove one here. Welcome in, Cobra. Joe Musgrove is indeed elite. Doug Melvin, I believe, is one of the best managers in all of baseball. They were lucky to get him from Oakland. A little bit surprising that he moved on, honestly. Unable to check his swing there, and Luke Voit goes around. It's now 3-1. That looked to be ball 4. Voit stands with a more aggressive stance than he did with the Yanks. This one pounded hard, foul down the third base line. Now 3-2. Well, yeah, anything's better than than the Oakland Coliseum. I mean, the A's, did you see how many toilet issues they had? Just raw sewage spilling out everywhere at random points during the season. They had to cordon off certain areas of the stadium because of it. And that's not the first time it's happened. That one misses up and in. 3-2 walk there. Voit reaches. Looks like Showalter's at least going to get somebody up in the bullpen. Carrasco already at 71 pitches now. Falls behind Hosmer here, 2-0. Yeah. Soto going to the Padres. I think they're probably the most likely team, just because I think they're the only team that's going to put together a package, at least before the deadline, that'll at least be of interest to the Nationals. You willing to take back Patrick Corbin and his $30+ million contract to get Soto deal done? Or are you going to try to rope a third team in to try to take that money and send out more prospects? Seems like they want their cake, they want to eat it too, and then they want another cake, and then they want a party afterward. That's the way the Nationals are treating the Juan Soto trade negotiations. I mean, you can't really blame him. He's by far their best player and their entire future. The 2-0 here. Carrasco's gotten 7 double plays in his last 4 starts, making it 8. A 2-0 pitch there. A nice double play, a little tapper off the end of the bat. Lindor to McNeil onto Alonso. Quickly 2 away now. I think the Padres would be willing to give up the farm. Would you be willing to give up C.J. Abrams? I think you'd have to in the deal for him, plus at least 2 or 3 of your top pitching prospects that you have. Weathers. I'm trying to remember the other ones that you got at the top now. But Weathers was injured anyway, from what I remember. The second double play ball of the night for the Padres anyway. Mets being able to turn both of them. Carrasco set, and the pitch. Hard hit down the left field line. Will it stay fair? Does not, and it goes foul. Just missing a home run there. Austin Nola. That would be a massive trade package. Abrams, Gore, Wood, Hassel, Grisham. I don't know. That's a pretty good package, but I think you're probably going to have to include a major leaguer on that. I don't know if the Padres would be willing to give up Gore for him as well. I think they'd be willing to give up Abrams because they have both Tatis. Yeah, but Grisham's he's not hitting very well this year. I mean, he's hitting, what, 220 this year? Or 198 or something like that? 190, my bad. He does nothing for the Nationals. His value is defensively and speed, but he hasn't been the Grisham of last year or even the year before. In 93 games, so it's not a small sample size either. Two and two here to Nola. That one misses low, and another 3-2 count for Carrasco. You got to wonder if this is the final inning for Carrasco. He's already up to 78 pitches anyway. Cronenworth, maybe, but I think you got Abrams in the deal. You might not have to give up Cronenworth. Hard hit ball out into left. 2-out base hit here for Nola. Appreciate all 14 of y'all for joining us. Hit that like button and subscribe. Really means a lot to us. Trying to reach 400 by the end of the week. Let's see if we can get there. Gained about 97 of y'all over the past 3 weeks. Crossed the 300 plateau a couple of weeks ago. See if we can reach 400 by the end of the week. Ball one here to Hee-Sung Kim, down low in the dirt. 2-away here in the top of the fourth. Hosmer's played well for you, at least to start the year. I haven't paid attention much to him since then. Looks like he's starting to struggle, though. Average is back down to 273. Carrasco set, and the 1-0. Popped up high in the air, shallow left field, coming on as Canna. Settles underneath and makes the catch. That's the third out of the inning. It'll be Lindor, Alonso, and McNeil for the Mets due up. Oh, yeah, he's a first baseman. They always ground out a lot. The errors, though, are a little bit surprising. He was a decent fielding first baseman with the Royals. Has been a decent fielding first baseman for the last couple of years anyway for the Padres. Appreciate the like. Thank you very much. Got a new subscriber as well. Thank you. Appreciate the like and the follow. Whoever did it, we really appreciate it. Joe Musgrove is probably going to get more than $18 million if he pitches this well the rest of the way. That's why I was wondering if you're willing to really take on the contract of a Patrick Corbin, or are you going to try to find another team to take his contract and eat the money? At the beginning of the season, you'll remember Hosmer was offered to the Rangers for a package that included Hassel. Hassel's a good prospect for the Padres anyway, but the Rangers didn't bite on it, weren't willing to take the money. Now, if maybe another year gone off of it, maybe they will finally take Hosmer. But it's going to take a lot more than that to take on the money of Patrick Corbin. A lot of that deal is backloaded, so there's a lot of big money left on that deal. Nationals trying to write their books. Yeah, Hassel for Gallo would not have worked out. Joey Gallo, of course, of the New York Yankees. was traded there last year for 4 prospects, 3 of which are on the big club right now for the Rangers. The 4th is in A-ball. Might be the best hitter of the 4. But the deal is not going to be nearly that expensive for Joey Gallo here at this deadline. I expect he will be moved. The Padres were one of the teams that was linked to him, along with his former team, the Texas Rangers. Francisco Lindor due up first. 245 average, a 744 OPS with 16 home runs. Yeah, I think if you have a mid-20 prospect for Gallo, you probably get him. But again, that's another $10 million contract. Padres have a lot of money tied up in a lot of in a lot of different positions, and they're interested in going for Juan Soto. And if they do that, they're going to have to take back Patrick Corbin. They're still paying Will Myers. They're still paying Eric Hosmer. They got Clevenger's free agency coming up. They got a lot of money tied up in Darvish as well. You got to wonder when the money's going to start to dry up for him. I don't know. One and one here to Lindor. The pitch. Hard hit down the first base line. Smacks it off the wall down the line. Ball girl lets it go right between her legs. Error on the ball girl. Yeah, well, that's still money you're paying out this year. Appreciate all 19 of you guys joining us. Hit that follow, subscribe to us, and hit that like button. We really appreciate it. Trade deadline coming up. Give you all the latest news that your favorite team has. Myers, I think this is the last year for Myers' contract, but that's still a lot of money left on there. Thank you for the like. Really appreciate it. Nice pitch there by Musgrove. Gets the strikeout of Lindor. First out of the inning. That's the fourth strikeout anyway for Musgrove. Pete Alonso is due next. Leads all of baseball anyway with 78 RBIs. I don't think Manny would opt out. I think the only way he opts out is to sign a longer-term contract in San Diego. It seems like he's really found a home there. So you're still going to have a lot of money tied up there. The Tatis money starts picking up in the next year or two. You're going to have to pay Cronenworth at some point. That one misses up and in. Ball 1. Alonso digs back in. Musgrove set, and the 1-0. Hard hit to deep center. Ranging back is Ruiz on the edge of the warning track. Makes the catch, and there's 2 away. Another quick inning here for Musgrove. He's only at 54 pitches. Yeah, I think that's the one guy I think is expendable on your team, as bad as that is to say. I don't think you can afford to pay Cronenworth. Of course, second basemen don't really get paid a whole lot of money. The record right now for a second baseman is Marcus Semien, but they also had him in the shortstop market, which is why he got so much. 7 years at $175 million total. Welcome in, Bernard. Mets do need to get something going. Jeff McNeil is up. 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Takes strike 1. Off-speed pitch on the outside corner. They've been aggressive, though, early in the count, and they've been making contact and keeping it fair, which has really helped Musgrove keep that pitch count down. The pitch. This one popped into the air. Out into left. Profar racing over. Makes the catch. And another 2-pitch out for Musgrove. He's only got like 56 pitches in the game through 4 innings. Has 4 strikeouts. Has not allowed a hit so far. No runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Padres. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Mets. And we go to the 5th. It'll be Ruiz, Profar, and Cronenworth due up for the Padres. But I think a deal for Juan Soto, putting him in left field for the next decade. Let Profar flip over to right. He's still got Profar for another 2 years, I believe, under contract. His contract manageable, though, at like $6 million per. The Kim deal is $7 million per. I think you still have him for 2 more years. Maybe you send him the other way in that deal. See if he can catch lightning in a bottle with the Washington Nationals with regular playing time. Maybe he would be the other major leaguer to go. He has a little bit more to offer. Well, yeah, I mean, think about it this way. If you're a former Ranger and you find yourself on the Padres roster, you are safe. Jorge Alfaro, top prospect for the Rangers. Jurickson Profar, top prospect for the Rangers. Nomar Mazara, top prospect for the Rangers. They have a lot of Rangers ties to this organization, and Preller coming over from the Rangers was very instrumental in bringing up those prospects. That was kind of his role at the time with the club, so he's got very familiar with those players. Bringing a guy in like Joey Gallo, you'd think if he is brought in at the deadline this offseason, maybe they're able to get him on a cheaper deal, let him try to resurrect his value. Maybe he plays right for you, Soto in left, and in center you put Profar out there or Grisham, depending on the day. Meyer's contract will be over at the end of the year, but that could make a lot of sense. Profar and Darvish are the only Rangers you like? Yeah, I mean, I really like Nomar Mazara. They never really gave him a chance against left-handers, and then when he finally got to everyday status with the Rangers, they're like, well, why can't you hit left-handed pitching? Because you never played me against left-handed pitching. So I never got used to seeing the ball come out of the left-hander's hand. That's why these platoons that you see from like the Dodgers or any of these other teams that like to platoon players, and then you wonder, well, why can't they hit the other side of or hit the other pitcher? Well, that's why. They've never got used to it. They played them in the minors against them, but then when they get to the majors, full stop. Carrasco misses with that 91-mile-an-hour heater, low and away. 1-0 to Ruiz, who was caught stealing earlier in the game. Appreciate all 15 of you guys joining us. Hit that like button, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Trying to reach 400 by the end of the week. Let's see if we can get there. 2-0 now to Ruiz. Mets fan? No, I'm a Rangers fan by trade. That's why I know a lot about their prospect system and that kind of thing, where they came from. There was a period of time where I studied everybody's minor league system because the Rangers were doing terribly. And so I was hoping they would sell certain pieces off to other teams so I could tell you a lot of different things about these prospects. This one popped into the air, into left. Canna comes in a couple of steps. Very high pop-up. And the first out is recorded. Carrasco up to 86 pitches now on the night. Jurickson Profar 0 for 2, digging in. Takes an 82-mile-an-hour slider on the outside corner. Strike one. Padres do need some bats, but of course the worry last year was they needed some pitching. Well, that pitching has since rebounded. I don't know if you're going to go after a catcher. I mean, you seem to have invested in a lot of catchers over the past 3 years. You brought in Alfaro, you brought in Nola, you brought in Mejia. Had Austin Hedges as well. You had a kind of a revolving door back there. Contreras would be a nice offensive option for you behind the plate. Getting both for Alfaro and someone else. I don't know if Alfaro moves the needle at all for the Cubs, though. I mean, he was a top prospect, but they got him for literally nothing from the Miami Marlins. Miami was going to non-tender Alfaro, so his trade value can't be that high. Got to imagine if they do make the trade for Soto, they're going to save their prospects for that type of a deal instead of going after a guy like Contreras. I don't think you're going to get both type of deals done. I think you're going to end up getting Contreras and maybe a couple other pieces, or you're going to get the big dog in Juan Soto and maybe get a minor piece like Joey Gallo. 0-2 now to Profar. Allen misses well outside, and it's 1-2. Yeah. It would be a little bit of a super team as long as you don't dismantle the team doing so in making those type of trades. Little tapper out to second. Lindor is on the first base side of second and makes the play, tosses it onto Alonso for the second out of the inning. This will definitely be Carrasco's last inning. He's up to 90 pitches now. Cronenworth due up here with 2 away. Machado to follow if he reaches. I mean, I really like Alfaro. He was one of the best hitting offensive catchers in the minors. That's why he was rated so highly for years and by a number of different publications. But Alfaro's hitting .270 this year. He was always more of an offensive player than a defensive player. Has really improved behind the plate defensively, though. Looks like we have some news about the international draft. They're getting closer, it sounds like. Major League Baseball's offer for the international bonus pool is 190, while the Players Association is down to 260. McNeil keeps drifting out and makes the catch out in right field. And through 4.5, no runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Padres. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Mets. It'll be Vogelbach, Canna, and Guillorme. Apparently it's 191 million, my bad, was the offer by Major League Baseball. Remember they said at the outset of the season that they still had not solved all issues in the collective bargaining agreement. I'm sure all of you loved hearing about the collective bargaining agreement before the season and why they were going to have a missed couple of weeks of play because of it. Well, the one thing that they put on the back burners that they at least get the season started was the international draft. Well, they pushed that back again in June. They pushed it again after the All-Star break, and they're still trying to get it done. Major League Baseball wants this thing hammered out now. Kind of can't fault them. Top prospects right now that are coming to us from international leagues anyway, outside of the U.S. It's pretty much the wild, wild west as far as that's concerned. It's very unsafe for the player as well. A lot of coyotes and that kind of thing being involved. A lot of not good or bad actors, if you will, are extorting players for money to get them to the big leagues. Most notable case I can think of is Leonis Martin, one of the top prospects for the Rangers at one time. I think he was or one of his handlers anyway was due like $4 million for helping him get out of wherever he was coming from. And basically had been stalking Leonis Martin for almost 2 years or something like that. But it was very unsafe. And so there was a court case involved and all that. But that's what Major League Baseball is trying to resolve. Is Xander Bogaerts any good? As a shortstop, absolutely. Do I think he's one of the top 5 shortstops in the game? No. Do I think he's a top 10 shortstop? Maybe 9 or 10. He's a very good player. He's going to be a free agent this year, but he's going to command probably, I don't know, $20+ million a year. Red Sox and Bogaerts couldn't really agree on any terms. Well, in a 1-year rental, I believe they'd be interested in Xander Bogaerts, but the Red Sox are still trying to compete to be able to make it in the AL East. I mean, they're going to try to go for a wild card spot. They were absolutely torn apart by the Blue Jays. Teams checking in on Bogaerts as simply a formality just because of how badly they were beaten the other day by the Blue Jays, just to see if the front office had decided to switch tracks and go into a sell mode. But I believe they're going to be a buyer at the deadline. Their pitching has been the worst thing for them. They're going to be, I expect them to be fully interested in Shohei Ohtani. Can you imagine Ohtani in a market like Boston? You can print the money. Vogelbach is ahead 2-1 here. Fouls that one down the third base line, and it's now 2-2. Appreciate you guys joining us, all 15 of you. If you haven't hit that like or subscribe, please do so. Really does help us out. You would think, but I don't think that matters too much anymore. I think he's sick and tired of losing. And so I think he'd be happy to go pretty much anywhere. Thanks for joining us, David. Welcome in. Boston's gotten very unlucky with injuries. They started the year without Chris Sale. You have all these injuries, etc. Then you saw the explosion by Sale in the minors, where he ripped apart the locker room, gets up to the majors and takes a liner off of his hand, and he'll be out another month at least. They've just been unlucky. Kike Hernandez, I believe, has missed some time with injury as well. They could use a first baseman as well. They have been rumored to be interested in a bat like Josh Bell from the Nationals. He would be a great ad for them. Not a lot of teams interested in first base type players right now that are in playoff position. Padres could be one of those teams in that Bell market as well. Would make sense. Maybe you flip Bell in there for Hosmer, eat a little bit money, give a little bit better prospect. Just think of a Juan Soto deal that involves Patrick Corbin and Josh Bell. You're talking probably like a 10 prospect haul for something like that. There would never have been another trade like that in the history of baseball. Going to the Astros, well, they have Gurriel there. He has struggled, but I don't think they're going to take him out. 3-2 pitch here to Vogelbach as he's worked the count. Hard hit ball into right center. That one gets down. Mazara over to cut it off before it goes to the wall. Nice play, or a piece of hitting there. Vogelbach gets his first hit as a member of the Mets. And the no-hitter is over. Didn't think there were going to be no hit, but a good start here by Musgrove. Now let's see how he recovers after giving his first hit of the game up. Thank you guys, all 16 of y'all, for joining. Hit that subscribe button. Really do appreciate every single one of you who joined us. Wow, numbers are jumping anyway. We've got 19 of y'all in. Thank you very much. Welcome in, Mark. Who's going to win? Well, the Padres have gotten on base a lot, but haven't been able to scratch across a run. Musgrove's been dominant. Mark Canna here with the runner on first, nobody out. Takes strike one. Before the game, I predicted the Mets, but the Padres have played much better so far, but still the game is scoreless. Canna did get hit by the pitch in his first at bat. Thanks, Bernard. Appreciate the support. Hard hit ball down the left field line. That one goes all the way to the wall. Profar waiting for it to come back to him. Vogelbach is going to have to stop at third base as he is not the fastest runner. But now we'll have runners at second and third. First real threat for the Mets at all in this game, and it's not been close. Musgrove up to 66 pitches. Maybe we'll see a mound visit here. Luis Guillorme is due up next. 289 hitter, a 738 OPS with 2 home runs. Welcome in, Mets production. Appreciate you. Hit that like button if you haven't already and subscribe to us. We'll let you know when we do another live anyway. Try to do a lot of lives during the week. Astros have money from not signing Correa. They do, but I don't think they're willing to spend it. I think they're waiting until the offseason. Going to lose $20 on the Padres if the Padres lose. $50, yeah. Early on, I would have told you the Padres are the favorite in this, or the Mets were the favorite coming in. But how good the Padres have played to start the game. Now that Anvil's swinging back in favor of the Mets. Strike one there to Guillorme. Thank you, all you guys, for joining us. The 2 of you who just subscribed, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Home plate umpire coming out in front of home to talk to somebody, straighten something out. Maybe it was something on the uniform of Musgrove. 0-1 here. Musgrove set and the pitch well inside, but did he go around? Yes, he did, says third base umpire. That's 0-2. Gotta love when the umpires are more jacked than the players on the field. Just ripping out of that top. Looks like those sleeves are about to pop open. That way you can really get that demonstrative strike one call. Oh and 2 now. The pitch. Chopper in the dirt. Hosmer, though, is going to hold on to it and just tag out Guillorme. Nobody advanced on the play. 1 out now. Musgrove looking to get out of this without giving up a run. Appreciate all 17 of you guys, 18 of y'all joining us. Let your friends know, subscribe, join the community. Don't be afraid to chat. Had a lot of you chat over the last 10 minutes. Thomas Nitto is up next, hitting .211 on the year. No homers and a .487 OPS. All you need, though, if you're a Mets fan, is just something to the outfield. Hopefully Vogelbach will be able to score, but he is not a fleet-of-foot runner. So we'll see what happens here. First pitch here to Nitto. Hard hit ball to third base, and that's going to keep Vogelbach at third. And that's the second out of the inning. 2 infield grounders and unable to get the run home. Can't really blame the Mets there, not for sending or for not sending Vogelbach. There's no way he would have scored on either one of those. If somebody was speedier, maybe you get somebody to score on that. Might have been a tougher play for Machado to throw if a speedier runner had been there. Brendan Nimmo due up next. 0 for 2 on the day. Strike 1 here on the outside corner. Musgrove, keep it up. Nimmo on the year, a .266 average, 9 homers, 33 RBIs, and a .778 OPS. This one at the top of the zone is fouled away, and it's 0-2. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Had a couple more of y'all subscribed, so I appreciate that. Getting us close to our goal of 400. Don't forget to hit that like as well. Our Twitter is @UpsideSN if you want to keep up to date with all the latest with the trade deadline coming up. Training camps opening up for the NFL. Make sure you follow us and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. Texas. I'm in Texas, about 2 hours, hour and a half east of Dallas. Well, glad we could bring you at least some play-by-play. Hard hit ball to second, though. Easy play for Cronenworth. And that's the end of the threat. Ouch. Mets are unable to scratch across a run. From Vegas. Cool. One of my favorite places to visit. It's always really good on the way there, but I always leave there a little bit disappointed. The trip never quite lives up. The room's either not quite what I was hoping or the food isn't quite as good. But every now and again, you get that one great experience, and it's worth it every single time. I do think Vegas is going to get the A's. They're supposedly negotiating stadium rights contracts recently. They have some progress there, but I really don't think there's anything to really report from Oakland. But I think Vegas is going to get a major league team, and I think that's going to be the A's. Oh, I usually stay at Caesars Properties. I just like their rewards. Would the Red Sox trade J.D. Martinez? No. Like I said, I don't think the Red Sox are going to sell at the deadline. No matter what Buster Olney says, I think that's strictly other teams just calling to check in after they were obliterated by the Blue Jays the other night. Nashville will very likely get a team as well. I don't like to stay at Caesars, though. They always have the worst room, in my opinion. Like, the inside of the room is great, but, like, the view they always end up giving me is always terrible. I was looking last time at an air vent and a trash can. It was horrible. I stayed across the street at Bally's a few times. I stayed over at Paris a few times. Those are pretty good. But I mainly go to get a nice room with a view of the mountains, maybe a view of the strip, depending on availability. To the top of the sixth we go. Carrasco is indeed out. It will be Drew Smith coming on for the Mets to face Machado, Mazara, and Voit, 3, 4, 5 in the Padres lineup. Nashville, I do think, is an underrated baseball town. If you haven't been paying attention to minor league baseball in your entire life, Nashville goes absolutely crazy for their minor league team. There's, if you've never heard of Tim Dillard, he's kind of a journeyman guy. He's played for Nashville, their minor league team, for, I don't know, like 10 years or something like that. He's traded between organizations just so he can stay in Nashville whenever Nashville changes its affiliation with another team. He was brought up, I think, to the Cubs and the Rangers over the past couple of years to at least give him a taste of what being in the majors was like. But he kind of was able to attest for how good the Nashville fan base is, how hungry they are for baseball. So Nashville will get a team. Plus, it's kind of an up-and-coming entertainment venue as well. Has always been more of an entertainment, country music, that kind of thing. But Nashville should get a team. Mets are in a slump. Meh. Maybe at the plate. I think the addition of Vogelbach will help. I think Portland's probably further out than that, though. Portland's probably not going to get a team for, if I had to guess, 10 years. Maybe 15. Quebec City might get a team before them. And yes, I did say Quebec City. Yeah, it is kind of looking like it'll get all the way through 9 innings without a score. 0-2 now to Machado as he fouled off the first 2 pitches up out of the zone. Ouch. Ouch. Angel Martinez or Hernandez says he swung at the pitch, yet he got hit by it. Wow. Leave it to Angel Hernandez for the game to be called with him having some type of major incident in the game. Yeah. Angel Hernandez trying to make himself seen on Sunday Night Baseball again. Off the forearm and off the side of the helmet of the catcher. Yep. If y'all have followed me at all, I'm very much in favor of robo-umps. He did go around a little bit, so I can kind of see that. But, I mean, ouch. Dang. To get hit by the pitch and called out. Again, leave it to Angel Hernandez to insert himself into a game. I mean, it was close, but still. Machado is hot, pounding something in the dugout. He was screaming at Angel Hernandez after he made the call. And Hernandez, of course, making the emphatic out call. I don't know. I could have gone either way on it, but it was not nearly that emphatic for Angel Hernandez to make that type of call. I can understand the frustration for Machado. That one's a ball up and in. 2-2 now to Nomar Mazara. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on your alerts. You'll be notified whenever we do go live again. Do post a lot of shorts during the week, especially with the trade deadline coming up in about a week and change. We will host a live on that day, starting around 10 o'clock, go through the trade deadline a couple hours after, just in case any trades come out afterward. Thank you for the like. Appreciate it. Drew Smith working efficiently right now, even though there was a hit batter. He gets the strikeout on that. Little tapper foul by Mazara, and it remains 2-2. I think the robo umps are already good enough, honestly, Cobra. I think it's more about getting everybody comfortable with them and getting, the Jimmies and Joes to say, hey, this isn't such a bad idea, blah, blah, blah. I think that's more about what the hesitation is with the robo-umps, just getting more people to agree with it. That one misses up and away, and it's 3-2 now to Nomar Mazara. One away here in the top of the sixth. Got to expect they're going to go low and away here to Nomar. That's always been his one issue. Nice piece of hitting. They do go low and away, but he serves that one out into right. Nice job by Mazara making contact with that one. One out hit, 101 miles an hour off the bat. Again, facing the righty. Not as big of an issue against a lefty as it would be against a lefty anyway. Luke Voigt is up next, hitting .224, a .726 OPS with 12 homers. Appreciate all the likes and subscriptions we're getting during the live. We really appreciate all the support. If you haven't hit that button already, please do so. Trying to reach 400 by the end of the week. Thank you very much for helping out. That one misses very high, and it's 1-0. Luke Voigt has walked both times he's been up. Came over from the Yankees as the Yankees were trying to clear out their first base position. The set by Smith and the pitch. This one hit high in the air. Drifting over, though, is Nimmo. Plenty of room just in front of the track. Makes the catch. Whips it into second to try to keep the runner at first and does so successfully. That's 2 outs. It'll be Eric Hosmer next. Should he reach, it'll be Austin Nola, followed by Kim. But as I was saying, robo-umps are kind of the thing that's coming. I don't think they'll hit next year, but I do think in 2024 they will be a thing. They're starting to at least start to think about what to do with the home plate umpire once they do bring it up, where they're going to position him. They don't really need him behind home plate to call balls and strikes. Do they set him off to the side to check to make sure of check swings, that kind of thing? Do they have him sitting back, out of play, just relaying in ball, strike calls, those kinds of things? My guess is they'll probably end up hiring another umpire just to relay this ball strike call. Thank you, all 20 of you guys, for joining us, all 22 of you guys now. Really appreciate all the support. Thank you for the subscribe. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Another strike call there by the third base umpire. He did go around, and it's now 0-2 to Hosmer. Yeah, robo-umps in 2 years. I believe that's going to happen. Pitch clock's coming next year. Banning the shift is going to happen next year. A lot of changes coming to baseball. Trying to make it better, more viewer-friendly, keep the ball in play, all of that. The 0-2 in the dirt. Nice catch there by Nitto off the dirt. Keeps the runner there at first base. Well, I believe that there should be some shifting anyway between, moving it a little bit to the right or left, that kind of thing. But in general, they should all have their set positions. I mean, basketball's kind of gone through it over the past few years. The center's been taken out of the game. That one tapped foul, and it stays 1-2. Yeah, I think ball strike calls should be relayed down from up top. That way it's faster. Anything to make the game faster. Pitch clock, get into the box clock, clock between innings, which they already have most of those. When's the team going to score? Well, I don't think it's going to be this half inning. I think this is probably going to do it right here. The 1-2 pitch to Hosmer. Another one in the dirt, and it's now 2-2. Smith already up to 17 pitches this inning. If you're just joining us, thank you guys for joining us. Got 20 of y'all right now. Don't be afraid. Say hi. Had a very active chat today. Let us know which team you're pulling for. Still nothing. Both teams are interested in Juan Soto. We'll see which one ends up getting him. Uh-oh. That's a base hit right down the line. This is probably going to score a run. Nomar Mazara's on his horse. He's rounding third, and he will score easily. They try to make a throw home, but that throw is up the line. A double there by Eric Hosmer, who comes through for the Padres. Nomar Mazara scoring from first base, 104 off the bat. Just kind of a cue shot all the way down to the wall. And it's now Padres in front, 1-0. 1 run, 8 hits, no errors so far for the Padres. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Mets. Everybody was shifted around anyway. Told you those umpires like to have those big muscles. As you saw him give the fair ball call. That's fair. Again, popping his shirt there. That one up and in. 1-0. Austin Nola in there, hitting .247 on the year. That one just off the outside corner, but gets the call, and it's 1-1. Well, I'm with the rest of you guys, though. Robo-umps are something I want to see. I'm tired of hearing debate over and over and over about it. Again, if you just missed the news earlier today, Shohei Ohtani is officially on the block. Make sure you follow us here at The Upside. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on what's going on there. It said that they want established major leaguers in return for Shohei, as they want to contend for a playoff spot, even though they've been the worst team in all of baseball since May 25th. That one just on the outside corner at the knees. It's now 2-2. Shohei to the White Sox, maybe. They do need pitching. What don't you understand about robo-umps? Basically a computer. See how the pitch tracks technology is on the screen? Imagine that, but that's individualized for every single at bat, because of course every batter is a little taller or a little shorter. And then of course you have the set plate. It's not just a 2-dimensional plate, it's 3-dimensional. So maybe that ball passes over the strike zone at the front of the plate, but dives out of the zone by the back half of the plate. If it touches that strike zone, it's a strike. If it doesn't, it's a ball. And they've got a lot of programs now that can do it. This one's driven all the way out to center. Racing back is Nimmo against the wall, makes a nice jumping catch, crashing into the wall, and that's the third out of the inning. Brendan Nimmo coming through for the Mets. That's the third out for the Padres, and we go to the bottom half of the sixth. It'll be Marte, Lindor, and Alonso. Angel Hernandez studying Smith's hand very closely. That was a great play, though. If you're just joining us, the Mets are trailing 1-0 after the Padres just got that RBI double by Eric Hosmer. They lead it 1-0 on the strength of 8 hits. Musgrove has been dominant today. He's probably going to come out here again for the 6th. But I do think Padres are going to have to score more runs to be able to hold it off or hold off the Mets tonight. The game is in New York. They always seem to have a thrill for the dramatics. A lot of news coming out right now about the MLB International Draft. $69 million difference between the two sides. We saw how quickly that type of thing could be resolved with the deadline during the collective bargaining agreement. Maybe they'll end up somewhere around 220 for an international pool. International prospects basically get to pick wherever they want to go. That usually leaves you with the top teams consistently getting the best player, unless one of the lower market teams is willing to basically spend their entire allotment, their entire bonus pool on one player during a given signing period. Baseball's tried to do the high school signing thing with the international draft for decades, and it just hasn't worked. They're trying to go now with a draft. That way the talent is dispersed a little bit more evenly. It's the size of the player with the robo-ump as well as the plate. It doesn't just have one set size. So if you have a guy like, think of a short baseball player like Jose Altuve, he's only like 5 foot nothing essentially. His strike zone is a lot smaller than a guy like Aaron Judge. Think back to the olden days where Jeff Bagwell, when he bent over in the zone, even though he was taller, his strike zone was here to here. He bent over on purpose to keep that strike zone smaller, so that when he did finally load up for the swing, that pitch was usually in a certain zone, and he would have a little bit more success with it. Worked very well for him, got him all the way to the Hall of Fame. But robo-umps will be coming, I believe, in 2024. Technology is there already. It's just a matter of getting people comfortable with it at this point. MLB Network over the years has sent players out to go check out the robo-ump system. First pitch swinging here for Marte, lines it into center right in front of Ruiz, and he is aboard. 108 miles an hour off the bat. Has some speed over there. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe. Let us know where you're watching from. I had a whole bunch of people from all over the country today. Got somebody from Vegas. I'm from Texas. Got one from Chicago watching with us. Another one from New York. Had one from Philadelphia earlier. Lindor is up there now. Takes a strike there at the very bottom corner. On the outside corner anyway. Musgrove getting ahead 0-1. Glad we could help you out, David. I'm still waiting for more information on the Shohei Ohtani news. For it to finally get to the point where Ken Rosenthal is saying that he's being told by LA representatives that they want established major leaguers back, I fully expect Shohei's market to really heat up. How far from Austin? 3.5 hours? Well, it's supposed to be knees to letters is what it's supposed to be, not to the waist. And it's supposed to be from where you're standing, but yeah. Yeah, Texas is a pretty big place. I think if you drive from the very tip over by El Paso all the way to East Texas, your trip is going to be like 9 hours or something like that. It's a long drive. And then going from all the way down to the southern tip to the very tip of the panhandle, I think that trip is like 10 or 11 hours, something like that. Texas is a huge state. Another pickoff attempt over there at first. Most stolen bases in all of baseball since 2020. Starling Marte with 69. 1-1 pitch here to Lindor. Hard hit ball down the line. Gets down, fair ball off the sidewall. Mazar's going to have a long run. It's going to be Cronenworth that gets in there. But they're going to have to hold up Marte at third, as that probably would not have gone, or he would not have been safe at home. Lindor was flying around first, though, just in case. And for the second inning in a row, they'll have second and third with nobody out. Let's see if they can push somebody across this time. They will have Alonso, McNeil, and Vogelbach. Vogelbach got the inning started last time for them, but they were unable to push him across. Nice piece of hitting there by Lindor. Pulling that just inside the line. Appreciate you guys joining us, all 22 of you now. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate all the likes and the subscribes we've gotten so far. Gained quite a few of you guys since we started doing this stream. Going to have a bit of a mound visit here. McNeil will be next after Alonso. Appreciate all the support we've gotten today. Keep it here to the upside, as the trade deadline is just about a week and change away. A lot of moves are now expected at the deadline. There's not a lot of starting pitching on the market, but a lot of teams are starting pitching needy. So expect those prices to be sky high for anybody of any talent. That's why somebody like Shohei Ohtani hitting the market, he will instantly be the best pitcher available. Other names at the top of the market, Frankie Montas, Luis Castillo, Tyler Mahle, Martin Perez. Not that all of those players are likely to move. In fact, Texas has already said that They're going to delay contract extension talks so they can focus on the trade deadline of other players not named Martin Perez. If prices are going to be as high as I think they are, maybe they are, and they will at least consider the possibility of trading a guy like Martin Perez, who has a sterling ERA and really seems to have turned the corner on his career this year. Ball 1 to Alonso. Pitching him inside. That one, 93-mile-an-hour sinker, 94-mile-an-hour sinker off the inside corner, fouled off, 1-1. Nailed it right off of his foot. Had somebody watching from the Philippines, so let us know where you're watching from. One and one here as Musgrove tries to work around another second and third no-out situation. With speed on the base paths, any type of base hit would probably score both runners. That one misses in the dirt, low and away. Can never be enough pitching. Absolutely, David. Just look at the Padres this year. They had almost the exact same pitching staff last year. Couldn't get an out to save their life when they needed it. This year, they have the same pitching, yet they're so much better. In fact, they actually lost Chris Paddock, and yet they're a significantly better team. Can never have enough good pitching. The 2-1. Got to be careful with Alonso. Not careful enough. That one out to left center field. That one's easily gone. That one goes back about 7 rows, and it's a 3-1 ball game. Pete Alonso crushes that ball, and now he has 81 RBIs on the year as the Mets' apple rises out there in center field. 109 off the bat, 424 feet to left center. The Mets take the lead here in the bottom of the 6th, 3-1 after the Padres scratched across the first run of the game. That was impressive. Yep. He didn't want to sacrifice the at-bat. It wasn't a horrible pitch, low and away. It's just a great piece of hitting there by Alonso. Able to reach out, kind of lean over a little bit and extend that barrel all the way out there, and got all of his strength on that one. Great piece of hitting. That one at the top of the zone misses up high, and it's 1-0. Jeff McNeil up there. Pete Alonso has 22 go-ahead RBIs this season. A very clutch player for the Mets. Those 22 RBIs in a go-ahead situation lead all of Major League Baseball. This one up and away does not get the call for Musgrove. Looks like the home plate umpire is starting to squeeze him now a little bit after having a very friendly zone early on. He does kind of swing an axe, I will put it that way. Very strong power numbers. This one tapped over to first. Hosmer flips on to Musgrove, covering. And McNeil is retired for the first out of the inning. Musgrove had it working through 5, and then just was not able to retire Marte, Lindor, and Alonso. If you're a Mets fan, that's just how you draw it up. That's why you brought in Alonso, or that's why you brought in Marte this offseason. That's why you made the trade for Francisco Lindor. And then you got real lucky with how good Pete Alonso's been. You got to have a little bit of luck when you're trying to build an organization. That one pops out of the glove of Nola, and it's 1-0 to Vogelbach. Appreciate all 20 of you guys for joining us. Thank you very much. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Mets take the lead on a Pete Alonso 3-run home run. Fastball there on the outside corner, but does not get the call this time again. Home plate umpire is definitely squeezing Musgrove now. 2-0. Thank you for the like. Appreciate it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Hardy swing by Vogelbach, and it's 2-1. MLB is saying this is their final offer on the international draft. We'll see if that holds up. That one misses low. 3-1. And that one misses. Low and away. 5-pitch walk there. And there will be a mound visit here. Looks like Doug Melvin is coming out. As good of a start as Musgrove has, looks like this might be it for Musgrove. And that is indeed it. Another former Ranger on the Padres roster, Nick Martinez, is coming out. Had a great showing for Team USA. Kind of resurrected his career. He was the best pitcher for Team USA during the Olympics. Signed a 4-year, $28 million deal. I want to say 20 to go to the Padres. He had a number of teams that are interested in his services. The St. Louis Cardinals. Anytime the St. Louis Cardinals are interested in a player, you can tell that that player is going to have a good career going forward. Same thing with the Tampa Bay Rays. They just know good talent when they see it. Padres, though, were able to scoop him up. Nick Martinez was a former infielder turned pitcher. Has found a lot of success now on the mound. He's working with a 3.57 ERA. Told you all the Padres have a lot of money invested in a lot of different spots that you might not expect. Martinez is another one of those pitchers that they brought in to try to rectify themselves and their pitching staff last year. He's one of the few additions to this pitching staff since last year. Your score right now, 1 run, 8 hits, no errors for the Padres. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Mets. Appreciate all the support you guys are giving me, all the likes. Thank you for whoever subscribed. Up to 375, only 25 away from a goal of 400 by the end of the week. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. Really appreciate it. We'll do some more lives on Tuesday. That'll be my next off day for work. Put out a whole bunch of shorts tomorrow. We'll go over the Shohei Ohtani deal, Jimmy Garropolo seeking a trade, likely going to be traded now. We'll go over the Juan Soto market, the Patrick Corbin angle to his trade, the asking price now for Shohei, the starting pitcher market. Expect a bunch of trade deadline related videos. Make sure you follow us at UpsideSN on Twitter, and you'll be notified whenever we do post a video or go live. So they show that great home run there by Alonso, literally chopping like an axe on that ball, just absolutely able to get that barrel all the way out to it and just lifting it effortlessly over that left center field wall about 7-8 rows back. Padres got some work to do, though. Runner on first. It'll be Canna, followed by Guillorme and Nitto, with 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. See if the Padres can get another double play here. 5 1/3 innings for Musgrove, 5 hits, 3 earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts on 89 pitches. Everything just unraveled on him in the 6th. Struggled a little bit in the 5th, but was able to get around to 2-on-2-out situation, or 2-on-nobody out situation in the 5th. Just wasn't able to get that done here in the 6th. Big swing there by Mark Canna. And it's 0-1. 3.57 ERA for Martinez in 75 2/3 innings. 20% strikeout rate, 10% walk rate. Looks like he's cut his hair off a little bit since the Olympics as well. The set by Martinez and the pitch. Right on the outside corner, a little tapper up the middle, flipped. I don't know why they didn't just try to get the lead runner, but Kim just threw it on to first anyway. I mean, he had time to easily get Vogelbach at second. I guess they wanted to get the faster runner in Canada at first. I still don't understand why you're gifting a man second base. Cronenworth was there. I mean, you probably don't get Canada at first unless you do. But, I mean, that's 90 feet closer to home is Vogelbach. Nice stretch there by Hosmer. I don't think Hosmer was fully expecting that toss. Questionable defense. Looks like everybody kind of told Kim about that one as he grimaces going back to his position. It'll be Luis Guillorme next, hitting .288 on the year, 2 home runs and a .734 OPS. Takes a ball one up inside, or a 94-mile-an-hour fastball up and in, and that's ball one. Thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. Appreciate all 20 of y'all joining us right now. Vogelbach getting a lead off a second as the Sunday Night Baseball crew kind of examining that play again by Kim. I mean, I understand that they're getting the faster base runner, but I don't think he knew what he was doing on that one. Swing and a miss by Guillorme, and it's 1-1. This Padres team really could use the bat of Fernando Tatis back in there. Maybe they go out and get a guy like Juan Soto. That would be very exciting for this team, pairing Machado, Soto, and Tatis. That one right on the inside corner, 95 miles an hour, and it's 1-2. Nice pitch there by Martinez. Has 11 RBIs on the year. Base hit into the outfield, maybe into a gap. Scores Vogelbach. We'll see what happens. Martinez delivers, pops it up. And it's going to get down. Profar throws home. Vogelbach. Oh, my. That was cut off by Martinez, it looks like. They might have had a play with Vogelbach at home. In either event, that's now 4-1 Mets. Ouch. And giving up that extra base by Kim now looms extra large. Just a major league pop-up that just fell right in between 3 Padres defenders. Vogelbach was on his horse all the way around. He is not the fastest runner, but he certainly made it look like he was giving the hardest effort he could, getting all the way around. And the Mets go in front 4-1. Sorry, Mark, I don't think your bet's going to work at this point. Nitto is up there, takes very high and inside, 1-0. That ball kind of lollipopped in there. Thank you all for watching with us. Really appreciate all the support we've gotten. Martinez set and the pitch. Hard hit ball. This one out to right center. This one is going to be down and up against the wall. Mazara gets it, whips it back inside. Guillorme being waved around. The throw by Cronenworth up the line. And it's now 5-1 Mets on the double there by Nitto. And it's just unraveling now for the Padres. This New York Mets crowd is absolutely going bonkers. Gonna have a mound visit here. Not sure if we'll have a pitching change, but at least a mound visit. Martinez is throwing strikes, but he's just being hit the last couple of times, though. Enjoying the game, Bernard? Got your Mets well out in front now. Looks like the Padres are indeed going to get that bullpen going. Just a raw deal, though, if you're a Padre fan. Buck Showalter trying to massage this inning, get the best out of him. Be the top of the lineup, though. Brandon Nimmo up now. He's 0 for 3 on the day. This one lollipopped again all the way up there, and it's 1-0. Yeah. Padres still won the series. Mets, 0 hits in their first 14 batters, 7 hits in their last 13. Just that's the way it goes sometimes. Especially games we've been doing over the last, week or so. We've seen a lot of games that once they hit the 6th inning, we see a lot of change in the score. That pitch is hammered down the line. Is it fair? No, it is not. A long strike there. Nimmo missed a home run by about 5 feet. It carried him back onto the fair side of that one, but Nimmo did not miss that one by much. Watching that ball come down real close, and it did indeed fall about 2 seats to the right of the foul pole. Down the first base line. 1-1 now to Nimmo as he digs back into the box. Hitting .265, does have 9 home runs on the year. This one at the top of the zone, fouled back behind home plate, and it'll be 1-2. All right, Padres fans, now that you're losing 4-1, you got Tatis coming back. You made the trade. Oh, I forgot the other addition for the Padres this year was Sean Manaea coming over from the Oakland A's. So they did address a lot of their pitching concerns by bringing in Martinez and Manaea. They did trade away Paddock. Well, I know, but we're still here in the bottom of the 6th. This one's popped up into left, ranging over his profar. That's the 3rd out of the inning. Rehab starting next week. True. The damage has been done. 5 runs here in the 6th for the Mets. It'll be Kim, Ruiz, and Profar for the Padres in the top of the 7th. So what do you guys think? Should Soto be the guy that the Padres go out there and get, or should they try to do something else, save their prospects, go for free agency? What do you guys think? Or should they go after Shohei Ohtani? After we just saw Shohei Ohtani is now going to be on the block. Get 2 bats instead of Soto, so you'd be all for going for like Joey Gallo and Contreras instead of Juan Soto. Seth Lugo coming on for the Mets. Wouldn't mind Soto on the cards as long as the Dodgers don't get him. Mets need Soto. I don't know if they need Soto, but they could use him, yes. I think they'll be very heavily involved in it just because their ownership group just seems really intent on pushing every pedal down. I mean, after you go out and spend $43 million a year on a pitcher that was coming off of a tired arm in the playoffs last year, as good as Max Scherzer is, that's a lot of money for a pitcher. But Mets need Soto. Maybe to complete that outfield alignment because you have a really good outfield right now. I think maybe you could use more of elite bullpen arms coming in. That might be helpful for you. You have Edwin Diaz back there, but maybe you could use an extra piece in that bullpen. But Soto to the Cardinals, I don't see it. I mean, he's a very good player. They like to build from within. They don't want to give that $500 million contract. I don't see the Cards being interested in him at all. Dodgers, I don't think will be in on Soto just because they've made big trades already to bring in Scherzer and Trey Turner and Manny Machado and Mookie Betts. I don't think they have enough pieces left or enough wherewithal within the organization to go for another big bat in Soto. Padres could get Happ and Contreras if we don't get Soto. I like the addition of Happ because he's a multi-position flexibility. Seth Lugo on in 36 innings, a 24% strikeout rate. There's not a lot of truly great bullpen pieces out there though. 1-0 now to Kim. The pitch. Hard hit ball into left. Canna is there, and it's 1 away. Ruiz due up next. Contreras, I think, is probably going to end up going somewhere like the Mets, possibly. Solve their catching issues. I think the Mets are probably the most likely team, in my opinion. Ian Happ could literally go pretty much anywhere. First pitch to Ruiz, right at the knees. Good pitch by Lugo again. 0-1. Appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button if you haven't already. Lugo set and the pitch. Bunted, popped up in the air, but unable to make the play on it is Nitto as he just kind of puts it in his pocket after he tried to dive for it, or stab at it anyway with his glove. Ruiz's speed getting the job done there. Angel Hernandez, the first base umpire, saying a few words to him. Got lucky by that ball staying up or being popped up and then not staying in the air too long to be able to get down. 1 out, 1 on. Jurickson Profar, the batter, 0 for 3 on the day. Takes a strike right at the knees. Bell to Astros. Again, I don't see the Astros really investing in first base. They have Gurriel there. And they have Diaz that they like to alternate there at first base. Soto to the Padres makes a lot of sense if he goes at the deadline, and only if he goes at the deadline. I don't think the Padres end up getting him if it gets past the deadline. Contreras to the Mets. Like I said, I think that one's probably the most logical fit for Wilson Contreras, the catcher. The pitch by Lugo, up and away. By Nimmo, that would be interesting. I think we have actually seen Brandon Nimmo pitch in a few games before, though. When the games were blowouts. 3-game losing streak, sure. But, I mean, the Braves lost today, so picking up a game on the Braves would be good for them. I think it's more about getting through the rest of the season healthy if you're a Mets fan, especially with that pitching staff. I mean, even if you're a wild card, as long as you have a healthy DeGrom and Scherzer going into a playoff series, whew, you're going to be set. That one lofted out into center. Nimmo makes the catch. Ruiz races back to first. Jake Cronenworth digging in. He's 1 for 3 on the day. A .239 average, 9 home runs, and a .726 OPS. Padres own Scherzer. Maybe, maybe not, but I think Scherzer in a playoff series is money, especially since he missed a little bit of time to start the year just to kind of keep those innings down. Mad Max was back in his first start back in the big leagues this year. I think he's through 6 shutout innings. Highest OPS plus through the age 23. Mike Trout 3rd on that list all time. Juan Soto 5th. Another pickoff attempt there. Ruiz back safely. Well, I think the Yankees could have the haul for Soto if they give up Volpe and Peraza and Dominguez. I think they'd have to give up all 3 of them, plus a major leaguer or 2, to get Juan Soto. But then you have the question of, Soto, Stanton, and Judge in the outfield. Plus, then you have to worry about contracts for Soto and Aaron Judge, and I don't think that outfield alignment does anything for them. I mean, you could always put one of them at designated hitter, but you already have that spot regularly going to, one of their other bench bats. Welcome in, Paulie. I don't think Judge wants to leave. I think he really likes it in New York. I think he's just unhappy that they haven't already worked something out. Welcome in, Cameron. I don't think they're going to acquire Soto, Benintendi, and Luis Castillo. Before the season started, I would have told you they would go after Luis Castillo just because I don't think their pitching is going to hold up, and I don't think it will in the long run. Luis Castillo, I think the price will be so high, but teams are going to be willing to pay it. I'm very surprised that the Yankees have turned course again on Benintendi. They were interested in him originally, a 4-pitch walk here to Cronenworth. First and second now with 2 outs. But Benintendi originally they were interested in to go after Benintendi. And then right before the All-Star break, he was announced that he was placed on the restricted list because he was not vaccinated and was not able to play in the series in Toronto. Mound visit here after that 4-pitch walk. But I thought right after that is when the articles came out, because he wasn't able to play in that series, that immediately removed him from contention to go to the Yankees. Mark Feinsand posted yesterday anyway that they were still in on him. But in my opinion, Luis Castillo is probably the most likely of all the trade pieces out there that's going to go to the Yanks. I think they're going to trade away Joey Gallo, and they might get a 4th outfielder in return for him or a low-level prospect. Of course, they got swept in the doubleheader against the Astros earlier, or since the All-Star break anyway. But I really like the idea of Luis Castillo going to the Yanks. The Astros, to me, they like to stand pat at the deadline. They don't like to make big trades. I think they will try to go after some bullpen help after their bullpens had a few rough innings anyway over the past couple of weeks. Manny Machado, 2 for 3 on the day, digs in. 302 average. First pitch to him just below the zone, and it's 1-0. 16 home runs and an 889 OPS for Machado. But I'm surprised Benintendi's back on the radar for the Yanks. I still don't think they're going to go after him and commit the prospect that it's going to take to get him. Said that the Royals want one really good prospect back. Now, whether that means a top 100 or not remains to be seen. But he's probably one of the best bats left on the market. But now that Shohei Ohtani is on the block, maybe he's the guy the Yankees pivot to instead of Luis Castillo, as he would fill 2 different spots for them. And that would seem like a very Yankees thing to do. Machado swing and a foul ball up and out of play, and it's 1-1. Tyler Mahle, the other starter that's on the block for the Reds, I believe he's got 1 more year left of control as well. He's injured right now with a shoulder strain. Nothing too serious, though. Having a little bit of a down year compared to previous years. I think his ERA is like a 4.2, 4.3, somewhere in there. He'll be a name in demand at the deadline. Frankie Montas of the Oakland A's. I think he's a guy that could go to a team like the White Sox or the Mets. Teams like that, maybe even the Cardinals would be interested in him. Machado fouls that one off the home plate umpire, it looked like, and it's 1-2. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Thank you for all the likes and new subscriptions. Really appreciate it. Make sure you keep it here to the upside as the trade deadline is just about here. We'll put out a lot of short videos over the next week to keep you all updated on what your favorite team's doing, where the top players are going. Wilson Contreras, where he ends up. Shohei Ohtani's market. Juan Soto. Ground ball here right to Lindor. Flipped on to second. And Cronenworth is out. That's the 3rd out of the inning. Mets lead it 5-1 here as we go to the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Marte, Lindor, and Alonso. Lance McCullers just had that rehab outing. Pitched 2 innings. I believe, 2 or 3 innings anyway. He'll be back up there. That's usually what the Astros like to do, is just get healthy around the deadline and then go out and get a bullpen piece. Think Ken Giles, Ozuna, pieces like that in the past. The only time they really go out for a hitter is for a piece like a Brantley or a Beltran, pieces like that. So in that respect, maybe you could see Josh Bell, but I don't see the fit. I don't see enough at-bats there for him, as Alvarez is going to need at-bats every day. Of course, they could play him in left. But their best outfield is having Alvarez at designated hitter, not in left field. And then that leaves Gurriel to play either first or third. At third base, you already have Bregman. And I think they're still happy with the offense they're getting from Gurriel, even though it's not necessarily to Josh Bell's standard. Now, could I see them go after a guy like Benintendi? Sure. He would kind of fit that mold of a high-contact hitter. That's what the Astros team likes to do. I don't expect the Astros to pursue starting pitching, so probably bullpen help, maybe an outfielder. Yeah, if you're just missing the news, I mean, the report from Ken Rosenthal is that he heard from LA representatives that they want established major leaguers in return for Shohei Ohtani. When a team gets to the point where they're telling reporters what the price is for Shohei, after denying and denying and denying that they would even talk about Shohei, and then 2 days ago, reports come out that they're actually discussing Shohei with other teams. Today, the report comes out that they've actually set a price now for Shohei. This market is moving quicker than some might have expected. But Shohei is going to want out of there at some point. He's not going to want to sit around a losing team. Dodgers would make sense for him, yeah. He already is in LA after all. He's already comfortable there. You don't have to get him adjusted to the East Coast. Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox, White Sox, pretty much every team in the league could use a guy like Shohei Ohtani. An ace when he's a pitcher, number 4 slugger, designated hitter type. I don't see the Padres, though, in on the market. I think if they're going to go for one of the big players out there, they go for a guy like Juan Soto at the deadline, or they go for the Wilson Contreras route, Joey Gallo, Ian Happ, that kind of route. Steven Wilson is on for the Padres here to face Marte. Right-handed reliever. 358 earned run average so far this year. 27 years old, a 4-1 record. Thrown in 27 games in 27 2/3 innings with 29 strikeouts and a 1.01 whip. I'm not sure if that's what it was originally down to, just to be honest. I know the Padres were in there, but I think they were more after Suzuki this past year than they ever were about Ohtani. I think it was the Mariners were in there, the Rangers were in there, the Yanks were in there. Astros do have a very good team. I do worry about that bullpen after they've been roughed up a couple of times now since the All-Star break. Well, not roughed up, but more of knocked around a little bit, I'll put it that way. I do think if you did get Suzuki, it probably takes you out of the running for Soto, or at least making the desperate move for Soto. Right now, I think it's pure desperation just to see how quickly you can pair Tatis and Soto together, just because you're really excited about what that pairing means for your future. Both very young players. To lock them both up in San Diego for 15 years, can't really argue with the thinking there. Even if it is considered a desperate or all-out move that cost your team in the future going forward. But Soto is still so young. He'll hit free agency after his age 25 season. Not many players hit free agency after their age 25 season, so he'll be one of the younger free agents at that time. The contract that he turned down was for 15 years at $440 million. taking him through 2037, taking him through his age 38, 39 season, I believe. Average annual value of only $29 million. Kind of a slap in the face for a player of Juan Soto's caliber. 2-2 now to Marte. The set by Wilson and the pitch. Just off the outside corner. This home plate umpire started to squeeze that strike zone as the game's gone along. Judge and some other good players for Ohtani would be. Judge and some other good players for Ohtani would be nice. Did you? I'm going to guess you're kidding. I mean, Aaron Judge is probably the MVP of the American League right now, and the Yankees are trying to win. They're not going to trade away their best player. The some other good players piece would be nice for Ohtani. Makes sense, yes. But Judge in a deal for Ohtani, any type of a deal for Ohtani, doesn't make any sense unless you're an Angels fan. He's got 37 home runs. He hit one today. .458 feet, I believe, as Marte works the walk. Lindor up next. He's 1 for 3 after that double in the 6th. Yeah, he's on pace to pass 60 this year. Steven Wilson in 27 games, 27 2/3 innings, 26% strikeout rate. That's pretty good. Long pause here. The 0-1. This one fouled down the third base line and out of play. Lindor down 0-2. Appreciate all you guys joining us tonight. Sunday night baseball between the Mets and Padres. Both teams in the running for Juan Soto. I think the Padres, if it's going to get done at the deadline, it's the Padres that are going to win that argument. If it's after the season, I think the Mets are all over that. I think it's just too soon of a market to really develop for the Mets to be able to get all their ducks in a row for something like that to happen. Nice base hit by Lindor. Serves it out there into center. Marte goes all the way around into. Oh, Lindor is caught off of first. Is he safe? He is. Ooh, that was close. Lindor tried to stretch that single into a double again. Soto, Tatis, Machado, and Contreras. I think if you get the deal done for Soto, there's very little trade pieces you're going to have left to get Contreras. But maybe they do what they did a few years back when they made the trades for Kimbrel and Upton and all that kind of thing. BJ Upton as well, where they really kind of sold out for a run at the playoffs. That'd make a lot of sense anyway, as that organization likes to take a lot of risks. Kind of have to when you're the San Diego Padres in a division with the LA Dodgers. Alonso lifts this one out to deep right center. Off the wall. Looks like Ruiz was there to make the play, but just mistimed his jump. That one gets down. Lindor goes all the way to third. Alonso to second. I'm not sure if that's going to go down as an error, but Ruiz just mistimed his jump. I can wait 10 years again. Appreciate the like. Thank you very much. Appreciate all you guys. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. Got 17 of y'all in here right now. Really appreciate all you guys being very active in the chat tonight. Another like. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And another one. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the help. Trying to reach 400 subscribers by the end of the week. We've gained about 98 now in the last 3 weeks. Getting close to that goal, so we'll see if we can get there. Thank you for thank you again. Appreciate all the likes. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Second and third again for the third straight inning. Nobody out. Already run in here in the seventh. Mets have had the second and third nobody out situation in the fifth, the sixth, and now the seventh. Mets really getting that offense going. If I'm a Mets fan, the first priority for me is establishing that bullpen a little bit more, making it a little bit more difficult to mount comebacks against them late, as their starting pitching is going to be very good at the top anyway with DeGrom. Wilson, I don't know, coming in his last 7 games, he had a 1.5 ERA. So I wouldn't say he's been garbage. I mean, he's going through 2, 3, and 4 of the Mets lineup that's already had success in the previous inning. You're in a losing game, so you're not going to get your A bullpen out there. Not until you're winning. It's just the way it goes sometimes. McNeil pops this one foul. And it's 0-2. Another like. Thank you very much for the like. Really appreciate it. Got 18 likes on the video already. Really appreciate all the support. Gained a lot of subscribers today. The 0-2 pitch here to McNeil. Swing and a miss, a slider on the outer half of the plate. Great pitch there by Wilson. First out of the inning. Y'all have a good lineup. I wouldn't worry too much about run scoring, especially with the way you're adding around the edges of your lineup. I don't think you're going to make the big move for Juan Soto. I think you're going to continue to try to add around the edges with pieces like Vogelbach, Mancini, maybe a guy like your big acquisition in the offense might be a guy like Contreras as your catcher. Other than that, I think your lineup is really good. That Ruiz just mistimed his jump. It just went over his glove on that Alonso double off the wall. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN if you haven't already. Appreciate all the support. Oh and 1 now. Vogelbach digging in. Up and in, and it's 1-1. As the Mets fans do the wave for some reason. Thought you Mets fans were better than that. Don't do the wave at a baseball game. That's for teams below 500. I think another starter in that rotation might be nice too, just in case. Because, I mean, DeGrom hasn't pitched. Scherzer was injured. Carrasco's had his injury issues, and you're counting on the 3 of them for major innings down the stretch. That one's a beautiful pitch right at the bottom of the zone, 2-2. Appreciate all 20 of you guys joining us. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe. Gained 97 subscribers over the last 3 weeks. See if we can get 400 by the end of the week here. Up at 375 right now. The set by Wilson and the pitch. Nice trailing slider there on the outer half of the plate there. Maybe just a hair off the corner, and Vogelbach is struck out. That's the second strikeout of the inning. Looks like Wilson might be settling down. Very tough ask to come in and face the 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup on the road in New York on Sunday Night Baseball under the lights. You can understand why he ran into trouble with Marte, Lindor, and Alonso. Seems to have found his footing, though. This will always help a pitcher grow in situations like this, learning how to handle these type of scenarios. Strike one there by Wilson. Canna takes it all the way. Yeah, they're on your heels. They're going to be very good in the second half of the year. They got a lot of contributions out of pieces they didn't expect. But Acuna is back. Matt Olson's playing a little bit better as well. This one popped up behind home plate. Back to the screen. And it's 0-2. Wilson is filling up that strike zone, though. 21 pitches, 15 strikes. Same thing for Nick Martinez, but both of them ran into trouble. Musgrove ran into trouble in the 6th after having a dominant 5 innings before that. 1 run, 9 hits, no errors for the Padres. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Mets. The 0-2. That was a hard hit ball right back to the screen. Missed it by that much. Mets in this series, in the first 2 games of the series, hit 188. Tonight they're hitting 333. They slugged 219 in the first 2 games. Tonight they're slugging 593. Tells you where their offense has been. Of course, this is right after the All-Star break. Maybe this will kind of shake them out of getting all that rust off of them from the All-Star break. Little tapper, foul, and it'll stay 0-2. Got 24 of you guys with us. Appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Really appreciate all the support we've gained over this video. Had a very active chat. Don't be afraid to say hello. See if we can hit 400 subscribers by the end of the week. Shoot, let's see if we can reach it before then even. The 0-2. Hard hit ball by Canna. This one is down the line, but going foul. As they pan the camera over to Tatis, who's expected to start his rehab assignment anytime now. They have held down the second spot in the NL West, firmly in the wild card right now. Getting him back and maybe adding a guy like Juan Soto, Wilson Contreras, Joey Gallo, Ian Happ should really boost their chances. Little tapper out to third, barehanded play, and that's airmailed, and that goes into right field. He's racing on to second. 2-run score. Alonso scores from second. Did he get into second safely? And he does. The error on Machado allows the second run to score. And it's now 8-1 Mets in the bottom of the 7th. I think a more accurate throw actually gets Canna there as well. I mean, it was a do-or-die play. He just didn't get enough on it. Kind of threw it, kind of slung it at a 3/4 release, and that pushed the ball up the first base line. Good barehand attempt by Machado. Saw the ball all the way in there. Just did not make an accurate throw. Hosmer didn't even try to reach for it. An accurate throw, I think, does get Canna, though. But here we are in the bottom of the 7th. 8-1 Mets in front. Looks like they're probably going to end up taking this game, avoiding the sweep. Jankowski is out there now at second for Canna. He'll come on as a defensive replacement more than anything else. First pitch to Guillorme is a ball well inside. 1-0. So what do you think, Padres? I know it's just one game, but scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you for Soto? And then 1-10, how desperate for Soto. That one right on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Guillorme has that average up to 291, a couple home runs and a 740 OPS. Wilson already up to 27 pitches now. Should already be out of the inning after the error on Machado. This one's popped up. Ranging over is Kim. Settles underneath it, backpedals a little bit more and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. But the damage is done. 1 run, 9 hits, 1 error for the Padres. 8 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Mets anyway. They will have Mazara, Voit, and Hosmer due up. Yeah, you guys kind of needed the victory here tonight. Got the offense back on track after the All-Star break. You don't want to go. It's not necessarily about being swept. It's the manner in which you have been swept or would have been swept if the offense didn't get going in this game. Coming out of the All-Star break, you can understand a little bit of rust, but you don't want to drop 3 straight and have no signs of life on offense. Offense is kind of breaking out of it here today. Mets should be just fine going into the second half. But like I said, I think getting somebody to fill in innings at the back end of that rotation, polishing off that bullpen a little bit more, and getting a catcher in is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Mets. Headed to the top of the 8th anyway. David Peterson is on for the Mets. Mazara 2 for 3 on the day with a 295 average on the year. Has a couple of home runs and a 741 OPS. Jankowski remains in the game at out in left field. Thank you guys for joining us again tonight. If you haven't hit that like or subscribe button already, please do so. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Put that in the chat for you guys. That way you guys know what to look for. We'll post every single short we do on there. That way you guys don't miss anything, as YouTube only allows you to get like 3 notifications a day from them, no matter who you're following. But when you're on Twitter anyway, all you have to do is turn on your alerts on Twitter, and every single tweet that we put out, it'll be for a video that we're doing. So that way, if you want to watch the video, you just click the link, and there you go straight to the YouTube video, to the YouTube short that we put out. With the trade deadline coming up, we'll be putting out quite a few videos on that. The Jimmy Garropolo trade situation as well, we'll be putting out a video there as well. Training camp's opening up. We'll try to do some live streams for that. And then we'll do a lot of lives this week as far as Major League Baseball games. Feel free to take part in the chat. Ohtani, the big news tonight that the Angels are actively seeking established major leaguers in return for Ohtani, effectively saying Shohei Ohtani is now on the block. That report coming from Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. Seems like Angels representatives actually reached out to him regarding that information. Peterson, beautiful pitch there. 95-mile-an-hour fastball right at the top of the zone. That's 0-1. That one's outside, 1-1 now. A lot of good arms in that Padres dugout. Have had great years, bounce-back years. Mazara unable to catch up to that one. With a lefty on the mound, he does struggle a little bit more against them. 15 games for Peterson, a 3.24 ERA in 72 innings. Little tapper off of his foot, and it remains 1-2. Thank you guys again for joining us for Sunday Night Baseball. Really appreciate all the support. Gained, I think, 5 subscribers tonight. If you haven't hit that button already, please do so. I think we're up 6 or 7 for the day. Trying to reach 400 by the end of the week. Let's see if we can get there before then, shall we? Great pitch right at the bottom of the zone. Mazzara knew it. 96-mile-an-hour fastball right at the knees. 1 away. Juan Soto is only 23 years old. He's probably the biggest name on the block besides Shohei Ohtani. He's got 2 more arbitration years left after this one, and then will be a free agent after his age 25 year. So anybody trading for him, you'll have at least 2 more years after this of control that you can negotiate a long-term deal. And you'd think that have to be part of that negotiation as well before you make a trade of that caliber. Working out that extension. $440 million over 15 years wasn't going to get it done with an average annual value of only $29 million. Maybe you get something like $450 for 12, might get you a little closer to a deal, but it sounds like he wants over $500 million. To get something like that, maybe you get to $500 million for 13 years, something like that would get this deal a little bit closer to being done. That'd make some sense. That one bounced in there, and it's 3-1 now. Luke Voit trying to get on for the 3rd time, I believe. And he does indeed work the walk. That's his 3rd walk of the game Luke Voit has drawn. Just been a very patient hitter. Of course, all the at-bats he's been in so far, the at-bats haven't even been that competitive. Hosmer due up next. Takes a fastball right down the middle, and it's 0-1. Hosmer hitting .275, 7 homers, 38 RBIs. Had a double back in the 6th to open the scoring anyway for the game. And that's pretty much been it for the Padres since then. Peterson set, and the pitch, another one. Hold on there. Swung on and missed by Hosmer outside of the zone. And it's 0-2. Peterson looking to bounce back from that walk he just had. That one's in the dirt, trying to get him to chase again. 1-2. If you're a Mets fan, do you want to see Trey Mancini on your team now as well? Kind of be that right-handed component of that designated hitter spot with Vogelbach hitting righties, Mancini hitting lefties. Doesn't do much for your flexibility going forward, though. Vogelbach is a designated hitter, first base only. So is Alonso. Mancini could play a little bit of outfield, but your defense would certainly falter as a result. Little bleeder right through between the shortstop and third base. And it'll be 2 on with 1 out. It'll be up to Austin Nola to get something going here for the Padres. Get him back in the game. Even if you hit a 3-run homer here, it's still a 4-run game if that were to happen. It's been all Mets, though, since the bottom of the 6th. They scored 5 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th. The bats for the Mets have finally come alive. You'd be for Trey Mancini and a Vogelbach stack at designated hitter, Bernard? Austin Nola takes a strike there down the middle. This one off the plate for a ball, and it's 1-1. Nola digging back in there. 245 on the year. Does have a base hit today. A couple of home runs and 25 RBIs. 628 OPS. The pitch. Changeup on the outside corner. Bleeds through between the first and second base. They will send Voit home, and it's now 8-2. Runners on first and second again. And it will be Kim up next. Welcome back, Kidney. Appreciate the like. I think you were with us. Was it last night you were with us? Trying to remember. Appreciate you joining us, though. Padres trying to get something going here in the top of the 8th. Little mound visit here for Peterson. Welcome in, Bruce. Do you feel the Padres are a top team if they get Tatis back and trade for Soto? Yes. That would be a definite yes. They would have Machado, Tatis, and Soto. That's a great 3-4-5 in a lineup. They'd probably keep Cronenworth in that type of a deal as well. They'd have a really good starting rotation that they've built around this year. Of course, they weren't that great last year, but they got some Manaea this year. They added to the back end of that bullpen. I don't think they're done if they get Soto, but I think that takes the majority of their prospect pool. But maybe they build around the edges, kind of like the Mets have done over the last couple of days, bringing in a bench piece here or there. Number 1 in the NL, if they get Soto, I wouldn't go quite that far. I think they're still behind the Dodgers, even if they get Soto. I mean, just think of the top 3 for the Dodgers. Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman. Now, Trey Turner could be gone at the end of the year, and if he does end up leaving the Dodgers and you have Soto, I do believe you leapfrog the Dodgers. But the pitching of the Dodgers is so good. My favorite team in the NL, as far as to win, or my favorite team to root for? My favorite team to root for is the Braves anyway. But I think the Dodgers are just that good. Not that they have the prospect capital to go out and get a trade for a guy like Juan Soto done. This one lifted out into right. That'll be the second out. Hosmer moves on to third. It'll be runners at the corners now with 2 away. The Braves really should have kept Freddie. They absolutely wiped out their prospect base to make the move for Matt Olson. They could have kept their prospect base, had their longtime face of the franchise there. I don't agree with the way the Braves made the move. I mean, if you felt that Matt Olson's market was moving that fast that he would go before Freddie Freeman, okay, but even then, you would want to circle back around and talk face-to-face with Freddie Freeman and say, hey, we have to move now. Either we agree to something today or we go in the Matt Olson direction. That's something I think that should have been done by the Braves and Freddie Freeman, because I think the Braves are worse off for it because they would have been able to keep Pache, Langoliers, who just won the MVP in the Futures game anyway, as well as a good pitching prospect and another middle infield prospect in the top 20s. Then they had to trade Drew Waters because his prospect status had really dropped off over the last couple of years after hitting about 250 over the last 3 years in AAA. They just didn't have room on the major league roster for him, and he wasn't exactly crushing AAA pitching. So they flipped him to Kansas City, got a nice pitching prospect back. I think the Braves kind of stunted their growth a little bit by doing so. They got a really good pitching prospect, I believe, at 35, though. I think it was Richie or something like that. Really excited about his future anyway with the Braves organization. Yep. I feel exactly the same way with you, Bruce. I think they really messed that one up. Anthopoulos has made a lot of great moves since coming on board with the Braves. I mean, he did get him a title. Hello. But I think since then, the moves haven't been fantastic. They got lucky with, what's his name, Snyder, whatever his name is in the starting rotation, how much success they're having with him. The 2-2 pitch here to Ruiz. This one lined up the middle. McNeil anyway makes the flip onto first, and they get the speedy Ruiz, and that's the end of the inning. Peterson gets out of it, allowing only the 1 run to score. It's now 8-2. 2 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Padres. Just left a ton of runners on base today. They've had their opportunity. The Mets, 8 runs on 10 hits with no errors. It'll be Nitto, Nimmo, and Marte for the Mets. Also, all 3 kids love to play. They don't even want to go anymore because they've lost interest in the Braves. Well, that's sad. I mean, they'll circle back to him, I'm sure, eventually. But I mean, I was a Braves fan from back in the day when they were on TBS every single day. How many of y'all, I got 20 of y'all with me? How many of y'all remember the Braves being on national TV every single day with TBS? I wasn't in the Atlanta Braves market. I was originally from South Dakota, so I didn't get there. Like, I'm not close to the Atlanta Brave area. Then I moved to Texas, again, not in the Atlanta Braves area. But because we got their games in South Dakota and in Texas, really became an Atlanta Braves fan back then. Chipper Jones, Andres Galarraga, Andrew Jones, Javi Lopez, Eddie Perez, Tom Glavine, uh, Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Terry Mulholland, Ryan Klesko. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Those were the days when I watched them the most. And then they didn't play on TBS anymore. TBS went more in a national direction. Chipper is probably my favorite Brave of all time. And then follow that by maybe John Smoltz after that. Glavine, kind of a Cub / Brave. I think he was a Dodger at one point as well at the end. I think he's been a special assistant now for the Cubs and Rangers since then. I think he's a special assistant now for the Washington Nationals, or not Washington, St. Louis Cardinals, where his brother is the pitching coach there. He comes in and helps out every now and again. But yeah, how many of you guys remember those Braves being on national TV and TBS games? It was really awesome being able to watch them. Turner Field back then looked amazing as well. I was kind of surprised they went away from it because of how great that ballpark looked. Of course, I was a kid at the time, so that ballpark looked. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Ranger fan because, I'm Texas, of course, but I mean, Braves were right there with them. Cubs were nationally televised. I was a fan of them because of Sammy Sosa. The Summer of Love in '98, I was pulling for Sosa, not McGuire. I never was a Nolan fan with the Rangers just because he was a little bit before my Rangers fandom. I didn't understand the hatred that John Daniels got as general manager for supposedly getting rid of Nolan Ryan. You living in Texas, they still talk about how John Daniels pushed Nolan Ryan out of the organization. And that's the reason for the reason why they've been so terrible. He's been gone for about 10 years now. He's not the reason why the Rangers had the success or failure that they did. Nolan Ryan helped them every now and again, helped bring in some talent every now and again, but he wasn't the main driving force of the success the Rangers had. Sorry. You didn't like Sosa or McGuire because they were obvious cheats. Was that before all the steroid stuff came out or after? Everybody likes to do the revisionist history with it. I mean, I'm at least going to be honest, even though they were on something or they were having a corked bat or whatever, I don't care. Everybody celebrated it, and I mean everybody celebrated that summer. The contributions they made to making the baseball as prevalent as they were should not go unrecognized. Now, do I believe that they should be viewed the same way as people like Hank Aaron? No. That would be crazy. But you still can honor them at the same time. You can view them differently. 3-2 now to Nitto. Tim Hill is on the mound now for the Padres. 8-2 here in the bottom of the eighth. No outs. The pitch. Hard hit ball right to center field. And Ruiz is there and makes the catch. One away. Hammer Hank was a Brave, and to me, he has the greatest home run hitter of all time, not Bonds. What do you think? Well, like I just said, I mean, you can't view the people of that era the same as players from other eras. whether clean or not, it was just different. So Hank Aaron, to me, was the best home run hitter ever. Barry Bonds, right there with him from a numbers perspective, but I view Hank as the best home run hitter between the two, if that makes sense. Sosa was pretty much about the same type of a player, except early on. I mean, everybody singles out those type of players: Bonds, Clemens, McGwire, Sosa, and Canseco. But I mean, how many other players were juicing or doing something? There's no way of knowing. Yet we're going to literally crush those players. I think we can do a little bit better. But I do agree on the Pete Rose angle. Pete Rose should be honored in the Hall of Fame. It's kind of getting ridiculous at this point. Base hit there by Nimmo into right. Marte due up next. Fouls off the first one. I mean, it's baseball. They're allowed to make mistakes, and they've served their time for those mistakes. Their careers will never be looked at the same way again. They will never be honored the same way ever again. Even at Cooperstown, say they get inducted into the Hall of Fame on the stage with all those other Hall of Famers. You think there's not going to be a juxtaposition between the Hall of Famers that are on the stage that agreed with or that tolerated with what they did versus the ones that don't? There's going to be a massive difference of opinion anyway between the Hall of Famers. Can you tell the story of baseball without any of them? Probably not at this point. Pete Rose should be, didn't mean to suggest Rose should be honored because he broke a very important rule and lied about it, but I feel Bonds, Sosa, McGwire, Clemens, etc. were dirty cheaters, even worse than Rose. I believe they all were worse than Rose. Sosa a little bit less than, because I don't think he's to the level of cheater the other ones were, but I'm not saying that any of them did the right thing. I'm just saying they've served their time. And for like national media pundits to be like, well, we didn't give them their vitriol when they were playing, so they got their money. They made all their money while they were playing, made all that money off of all the home runs they hit. They never got our vitriol because we didn't allow them. We coddled them. We protected them. We allowed it to happen. And then now we're going to give them all of the punishment in all the world because why? We messed up too? Guilt? You can still honor the best players in the world who did it clean. The Hank Aaron's, the Lou Gehrig's, the Babe Ruths, understand what they meant, the giants of the game, while still allowing the other players who are also titans in the game to be recognized. It's like the Mount Rushmore players. You're not putting Barry Bonds on the Mount Rushmore of baseball. I feel admitted cheaters in the Hall of Fame is slapped in the face the most honest players who worked there hard there, plus cheaters stole jobs from the younger from honest players. Sure, absolutely they did. Did you cheer for them while they were still hitting home runs for your team? Yes. Just look at Alex Rodriguez and his history with baseball. When he got that year suspension anyway, it was believed that he would not be able to return to baseball. Double play ball here. Padres turn it, and that's the end of the inning. Nice job there by Hill getting out of a 2-on 1-out jam. But yeah, Pete Rose was an exciting player. As much acrimony as we focus on his career with the one mistake he made, whether or not it was just one time or multiple times he bet on games, I don't really care. Whether it was as a player or as a manager, I don't care at this point. I feel like it's time to finally give homage to what he did as his career and stop punishing an 80-year-old man or whatever he is now. It's not that I don't mind the cheaters. I just think that they've served their time. The Hall of Fame, they weren't voted in by the writers anyway. They had to wait to get in. Everybody in the world knows that they cheated now. They know that players like Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth are different than players like Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire. And that's what I think is the whole point. And it's time for us to move on. It's time for baseball to heal from its past. The punishment phase is now over. It's time to move on. And baseball itself would be much better if they did. Can you imagine the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies once they finally get this over with? Every year, they're going to come up on that Hall of Fame ballot in that committee anyway. Are they going to finally let him in this year? 60 years from now, they're still going to talk. Hey, should they finally let in Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens? How much Hall of Fame talk are we going to give them before we say, hey, enough? How many Hall of Famers that are in there right now do you feel lived up to Hank Aaron's image? Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan. That level of player. There's only a few players that are even that good. The Hall of Fame is supposed to be the elite of the elite. It's about 1% or whatever it is of players that get in. Something like that. Some really, really low number. But not even of that 1% are players as good as players like Hank Aaron. Joely Rodriguez on for the Mets, trying to shut things down here in the top of the ninth. Rodriguez in 33 games, a 4.94 ERA and 27 and a third innings. Well, I'll agree with you there. Joe Morgan was fantastic. Watching him call Sunday night baseball games for years was great. It's not a good thing to take those things to your grave with you. And I think he let it out with that letter. You don't want to take those type of feelings with you to the grave. If you're still thinking about baseball cheaters when you're passing away, you're thinking about the wrong things, my friend. Ball 3 out there. Profar trying to get on here. But yeah, Freddie Freeman should still be a Brave. Can you imagine if they still had Shea Langoliers? They could go out there and be in the market for any piece on the market right now with as good as of his performance has been. Christian Pache wasn't able to catch on with the Braves, just wasn't room in the outfield for him. Starting to view him more in the Victor Robles role than the superstar that he was once thought to be. Markakis was nice, but that's just a nice player. Ball 4 there to Profar, works the leadoff walk here in the ninth. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Appreciate the like. But you're not even thinking about players who aren't even in the Hall yet. Bernie Williams, Kenny Lofton, players like that who played during that steroid era, who did it quote unquote clean. Fred McGriff, who aren't a part of that Hall of Fame class yet, that are still on the outside looking in. Bernie Williams' candidacy was out after a year or two. Same with Kenny Lofton. I agree with Brian Kenny of MLB Now. Those two players should have long been in the Hall of Fame by now. Shocked they're not in yet. Jim Edmonds should have gotten more consideration than he did. Yep. His son will be fantastic. I agree. As a Ranger fan, I'm excited. We got the top pitcher in the draft, high school pitcher, in Brock Porter in the 4th round. And we got our top pitcher on our board in Kumar Rocker. And on top of that, he was the 2nd best pitcher in the draft last year on our board. Very happy with the Rangers draft. Jackson Holliday going to the Orioles, 1 overall. 2-1 now to Cronenworth. Make it 3-1. Might see a mound visit here. The Rangers are going to contend next year. You're sorely mistaken if you think it's going to take 3 years. They're already like 21 games better than they were last year, and that's with horrible starting pitching. Oh, yeah, I think he was worthy of the number 1. I thought it was between him and Drew Jones. I think Jones is going to be the better player long term, but I think Holliday is the better fit for what the Orioles are going. There's ball 4, and like I said, a mound visit coming up. Got to imagine the Mets bullpen going to get going here. Showalter looks very upset that this is the way it's going. I don't dislike Nolan. I just hate the way other people vouch for him every single way he goes. It's like the man can do no wrong. I understand he's a very likable person. But I mean, baseball's more than just being a likable person. Yeah, I like Josh Hamilton. Hate the man, really enjoy the player. If you read anything about his career, the opioid usage early on, and then after his playing days, the domestic violence issues he has going on right now with his daughter, etc. It's just an ugly back page story, honestly. That's kind of why the Rangers organization has distanced themselves now from Josh Hamilton after trying to support him and support him and support him. I think he's actually under house arrest or something like that. Base hit down the line. This goes into the corner. This might score 2. Marte flips it in. No, it's going to score 1, but they will have runners on 2nd and 3rd. This will definitely get the bullpen going. Padres not giving up yet. It's now a 5-run game. Back-to-back walks followed by a double here. Edwin Diaz is loosening out there in the Mets bullpen in case this gets any closer. Really didn't want to have to get him up if you're a Mets fan. Jorge Alfaro is coming in as a pinch hitter for Nomar Mazara. Juan Gon was probably one of my favorite Rangers of all time. Pudge Rodriguez and Juan Gonzalez, probably 1 and 2 as far as my favorite Ranger players ever. The Rangers organization and Juan Gonzalez just have not had a good relationship after the contract disputes that he had with the team. Even afterward, they still were not able to get on the same page because Juan Gonzalez was still holding that grudge against the team. Beltre was fantastic. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Ranger. A top 20 catcher of all time. Pudge is the top 3 catcher of all time. Easily a top 3 catcher. Defensively, he might have been one of the best, if not the best defensive catcher ever. And then the offensive numbers to back it up. Woo! Better than Mike Piazza, that's for sure. Sorry, Mets fans. Piazza might have been the better offensive player at times. Pudge was right there offensively, but better defense. Another base hit for the for the Padres there. Alfaro serves that one out there into left, and that might be it. It is, but Showalter's seen enough. Runners on the corners, No outs here in the ninth. Joely Rodriguez just has not been able to get anything done. It's suddenly competitive now. Got to start paying attention to this game again. Got to wonder if they're going to lift Alfaro for a pinch runner. But, of course, he's the only catcher besides Nola still there. Nola would be third after Voit and Hosmer anyway. If you need this offense to get going. Alfaro is probably your best bench bat available. The only hitters you have left for the Padres are going to be Abrams, Batten, and Grisham that are on the bench. I wouldn't know about far superior from the offensive side. Pudge was fantastic. Bench is one of the other three that I would consider in that top three. Do a little bit of comparison here. Have a good night, Bruce. Just kind of curious between the Piazza versus Pudge debate. 296 hitter for Pudge, 308 hitter for Piazza, 427 home runs, about 100 more home runs, slugging, about 100 points higher OPS. Yeah, offensively, I'll give you Piazza was the better hitter. But I kind of felt that way anyway, but let's see. How many years did he play? '91 to 11, so that's 20 years. Piazza 7 to 92, so about 15 years. Okay. It is Edwin Diaz on for the Mets. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Things have gotten interesting here in the ninth. A couple of runs already in for the Padres. Highest single-season strikeout rate in any season, minimum 30 innings pitched. Edwin Diaz is second all-time, 51% this year. Aroldis Chapman, the only one higher, back in 2014 at 53%. And here comes the Mets closer. He has just been in another world this year. It'll be Luke Voit. In 39 games, Diaz has a 1.64 ERA in 38 1/3 innings. As we mentioned, that 51% strikeout rate and an 8% walk rate. Has 20 saves on the year. The pitch, swing and a miss. Voit tried to park that one all the way out of the park anyway. It's 0-1. Voit has worked 3 walks today, has scored a run, 12 homers, 40 RBIs, and a .223 batting average. That one misses location badly, and it's 1-1. This will be a save situation, though. Even though it's a 4-run game, the on-deck hitter represents the tying run, so it represents a save situation. This one popped up by Luke Voit, right to second base. McNeil is there and makes the catch. 1 away here. Double play here would end the game. Eric Hosmer has been subject to those over the year. I think he already has one tonight, actually. Edwin Diaz using the slider and fastball a little bit more this year. The slider a lot more than usual. And we'll sparsely throw a changeup in there. First pitch to Hosmer on the inside corner is a strike. Just got to be careful. Don't want to give up a home run or anything like that. Nothing too crazy. Just want to get outs. Even if you give up the run at third, doesn't really matter. Hosmer set. Ground ball. Nice fielding there by McNeil. Flips on to first. That's the second out. Run does score, and it's 8-5 as Machado crosses home. Alfaro advances on to second. It'll be up to Austin Nola, unless they lift him for a pinch hitter here. Welcome in, Brandon. First pitch low and away here to Nola. Misses the zone. Nola's 2 for 4 on the night. 249 average, 634 OPS with a couple of home runs and 26 RBIs. Swing and a miss there. Welcome in, Daniel. Appreciate the like. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. 2 strikes away from a victory here. This one just off the outside corner, 101, but it's called a strike anyway. For a home plate umpire that looked like he was starting to squeeze the zone as the game went along, gives one there to the Mets. Yeah, he does hit a lot of ground balls. The pitch in the dirt, and it's 2-1, or excuse me, 2-2. Padres down to their final strike. All of Mets Nation on their feet. The pitch, swing and a miss, 92-mile-an-hour slider. Off the plate, but gets Nola way out in front. And that's the end of the ball game. Score a little bit closer than the game actually was, though. Padres 5 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error. For the Mets, 8 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. Just a great all-around game. Mets able to lock it down. But as I mentioned, that bullpen help is going to be needed for the Mets going forward. Let's see what they do at the deadline. They already acquired Vogelbach. They already acquired a catcher as well. We'll see what they do around the deadline. I fully expect them to go after a starter to kind of eat some innings, but Diaz is the difference maker here in the 9th after the Padres got some real momentum. I do think the Mets are going to have to do something with that bullpen to get somebody in front of Diaz that they can really count on. But thank you guys for watching tonight. In case you're wondering what we'll be doing next, we'll put out a whole bunch of short videos tomorrow. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN to stay up to date with all the latest for the trade deadline. Hall of Fame induction was today. David Ortiz was inducted. Shohei Ohtani is officially on the block. Thanks for sticking around, Zach. Am I doing some games tomorrow? I'm not sure. Just kind of depends on how early I get out of work. Tomorrow's usually my late day, along with Thursdays anyway. But I'll definitely be putting out some videos tomorrow. But stay tuned here to the upside as we're going to put out some Ohtani videos, some Soto videos. Try to put a Patrick Corbin involvement in the Soto talks as well. Check on the other names that are available at the deadline. Contreras, the starting pitching market, Luis Castillo possibly going to the Yanks, Frankie Montas possibly to the Mets, teams like that. Thank you for the like again. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. Have a good night, Zach. And I'll try to have a good day. Got a lot of work ahead of me tomorrow, but I'll try to do it. Thanks, Bernard. Bonds is a lot better of a player over the course of his career than Ortiz was, but I don't know if it's necessarily if it's about the juice comment or not. I mean, Ortiz meant so much to the city of Boston, meant so much to the Red Sox organization as a whole, and as much history as that organization has had, to finally get over that hump, I think is why Ortiz really got there. Well, we might make a video on the Ortiz enshrinement tomorrow as well, but I appreciate all the support we've gotten. Also, we'll make a Jimmy Garropolo video for those of you who are ready for the NFL to get here. Training camps are opening up. We'll try to do some lives there as well, but keep it tuned here to the upside for all the latest from the from the MLB Trade Deadline, NBA offseason, NHL offseason. We just saw a big trade the other night. Matthew Tkachuk getting traded to the Florida Panthers for Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwint, and a 2025 first-round pick. They do have absurd double standards. They really liked all the players when they were playing, and then all of a sudden, oh no, what did we do? I agree with you there. But as I was saying, we've got a lot of content coming your way, so make sure you subscribe to us. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Again, at UpsideSN on Twitter. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Thank you to every single one of you who liked this video. Really appreciate all the support we've gotten on these Sunday night on these Sunday night live streams that we do. And we'll definitely be doing a doubleheader on Tuesday. Not sure about Monday, but we'll try to do another video for you guys. Let us know any questions that you have, what your favorite team is, what you'd like to see your team do at the deadline. Maybe we could make a video about that. But thank you again for all the support that we've gotten. Appreciate the help we've gotten behind the scenes. Miss Jessica helping us out with posting videos, making captions, getting everything set for us, all the lighting we have. Really appreciate her help. And thank you guys very much for supporting us here at The Upside. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. And y'all have a great night out there, and we'll see you tomorrow with all the short videos we'll post. And if you want us to do a live tomorrow, let us know which game you'd like us to do. But we'll definitely be doing a live on Tuesday. Do a double header as I'm off on Tuesday. We'll try to do a day game if there is one, and a night game as well. But thank you again for joining us here at The Upside. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Y'all have a great evening.